Cool. Angie, Alena, and Sammye, we are so grateful for you to be joining us today. We'll go ahead and start letting everybody in.
I just got into.
Okay, cool. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hello, hello. All right, we've got 35 participants in here already. This is going to be a big event. What's up, everyone? Shane, hello. First and foremost, every single time. Hello, hello. Janelle. Okay, Janelle, I will change your name really quickly because I know you said you've been having some issues with changing it.
I think I got it together, actually.
You got it? Okay, awesome. Cool. What is up, everyone? Hi, Simone. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Hi, Kalia. Welcome to the Finessed Media team. Hello. Sage, also welcome to the Finessed Media team.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. All right. Well, happy Saturday. So we've got a good amount of people in the room already. So what we'll do is we'll go around the room just for a little bit. Feel free to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and what do you do? And then we'll go ahead and get started and jump right into the event. But I'm going to call on a couple of people to introduce themselves. So Kalia, I'm going to have you introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Kalia Horton. I attend Temple University. I'm a public relations student and I'm a sophomore. So yeah.
Awesome. Kalia is a new Finessed Media intern. Woo-hoo! Sage, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Sage. I just graduated from the University of the Arts with a music business degree, and I am a part of the Finessed Media team. I'm so excited.
Woo-hoo! Sage was also just hired on yesterday. Mia, are you here? I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mia, recent Fordham graduate. I also just got hired as an intern at Finessed Media, so I'm excited to be here.
Let's see, who else do we have? Canacia. Hi, Canacia. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Canacia. I'm in DC right now. I'm a Florida State University graduate, and I was just hired on as a Finessed Media intern.
Welcome, welcome. And then Itzel. Do we have Itzel in the room? I don't think Itzel could make it today, but Itzel.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Itzel.
Yeah,
awesome.
hi.
You want to introduce yourself really quickly?
Yeah, of course. I'm so sorry I cannot turn my camera on. I don't know what's happening with Zoom, but I just graduated from business administration last year, and I just got the internship with Finessed.
Welcome, Itzel. And I think last but not least, Emily. Do we have Emily in the room?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Emily. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Emily. I currently go to Fordham, and I just became an intern yesterday, so I'm super excited.
Cool. Welcome, Emily. So congratulations to all of the new Finessed Media interns. And then we have a ton of folks from the community that are here on a week-to-week basis, such as Shane. We've got Maya. Maya, we love you. Who else do we got in here? Simone, of course, Shaniqua, Shani, I think, is probably the one who's been here every single week for the last 5 or 6 weeks. We love you. So welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm Alexi. I'm the Finessed Media CEO and founder, but we have a really exciting event today. This is a special one to us. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Jordan to have us jump right in.
Yes, thank you, Alexi. Hi, everyone. I'm so grateful that you all are here today. My name is Jordan Steele, and I'm the events manager here at Finessed Media. It's so great to see all your faces for this special occasion. So yeah, today Finessed Media is hosting a very special event, one that's near and dear to my heart. As you all know, the title of this week's panel is Celebrating Black Women in the Music Industry. And we have 3 amazing Black women here today who are just dominating the music business side of the industry. And I can't wait for you all to meet them and just get to know them a little bit better. As Black History Month ends and Women's History Month begins, I wanted to intersect the two and provide a platform for a few Black women from different aspects of the music industry who are killing it, to share their stories of how they came into music, their experiences, and just to relate to all of us today. So yeah, we'll start with the discussion for about 35 to 40 minutes, and then we'll move into our audience Q&A. So you can ask the panelists questions, whatever you want. And then we'll go into our breakout rooms for about 20, 25 minutes. So we'll have a more personal level of interaction there. Yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm really excited. Let me breathe a little bit. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm very excited to introduce you all to our speakers, Angie K. Hey, Angie. She is the content operator and artist services specialist at Audiomack. Angie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. I am Angie K. Don't forget the K, okay? Thank you for the introduction, Jordan. Like she said, I work in content operations as an artist services specialist. So overall, in like regular terms, it's artist and label relations. So like my day-to-day is literally assisting the artists, the labels, the distributors, in setting up and maintaining accounts, helping them figure out if anything is wrong, making sure that I'm scheduling any release that's coming up for like the following week or that exact Friday, because usually it's New Music Friday. And then I'm also like hosting like the artist visits. So when anybody wants to come to our studio, we have 2 studios out in Manhattan. So it's really dope. You get to talk to them, speak to them, let them know what's going on with Audiomack, answer any questions, etc. Yeah, and I'm also part of our social action committee. So I'm the treasurer of that. So it's been cool. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for being here, Angie K. That's what's up. Next, we have Alena Jackson, who is the marketing manager at XO Management. Alena, can you say hi, introduce yourself?
Hi, guys.
Hey. Yeah, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Alena Jackson. I am a marketing manager at SALXCO. I work really closely with our clients, pretty much helping them with their single and album rollouts. So really just hearing their vision and then going ahead and executing it, making sure that they have an amazing social presence, digital presence just across all platforms. My job is not necessarily working with the label, but working directly with the artist. So luckily I get to really just be face-to-face and really hear their vision, be a part of the creative process, and really help with just the overall aesthetic and vibe for the project. So something I really love doing. I love working face-to-face with the artists and just really conveying their vision.
Yeah, you'll both have super cool jobs. I'm so excited to speak to y'all. And our last speaker today is Sammye Ruth-Scott. She is the director of A&R at Atlantic Records. Sammye, hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Happy Saturday.
Hello.
So as Jordan said, thank you for having me. And I'm Sammye Scott. I am director of A&R at Atlantic Records. This is my 4th year there. I'm on the label side, obviously, so I'm very, very much hands-on with the artists, with the creatives, with the management team, as well as inside the building with all the departments, with admin, with digital marketing, with overall marketing, with legal. Literally, I'm the liaison between the artist and their team and the label. I'm here to make everyone happy. I'm here to appease the artist. I'm here to appease the label. Just to go a little bit more in depth, it's, understanding and keeping the artists happy on what they have going on or what they might not have going on at the time, and then selling it to the label and keeping them intrigued and captivated, regardless if the artist hasn't released music in 6 months to a year, just because obviously everything changes every day. So yeah, it's much more deeper than that, but I will wait till the panel to start to go into there. But yeah, super excited. I love what I do. Very much hands-on in the studio. That's probably my life, in the studio. But yeah, ready to get this started. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Of course. Thank y'all all for being here. And this event is all about y'all, so just getting to know you. I just want to mention that we did have one other panelist scheduled to be on today. Unfortunately, Kayla couldn't make it today, but she does send her regards and love and everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. My first question for y'all is, can you tell us about how you got started in the music industry? Was there anyone who really helped you get to where you are today? I'll let Alena go first.
Yeah, so I went to Texas Southern University, and while I was there, I was minoring in entertainment management. And one of my professors was Matthew Knowles, which just happens to be Beyonce's father. And I really feel like he kind of gave me that spark. His class was just super dope. And I feel like I learned a lot, and working directly with him and just seeing what he was able to do and the impact he's had in the culture. I really feel like that's what kind of motivated me and kind of created that idea of, me wanting to be in the music industry.
That's super dope. Y'all know everyone. What about you, Angie?
So I'm from Jersey. I attended William Patterson University. At the time growing up, I literally said, I'm going to be the next Oprah. I am going to be a radio personality. I want to do it all. I want to be a TV personality, etc. Got to college. It was more difficult than I thought. I didn't get into the TV program. So I'm like, dang, what's next? I tried it out to go into radio, and it was working for me. College radio was working. And I really would say, as far as someone guiding me, my sisters I'm the youngest of 6, so they really told me, you need to get an internship, you need to try to do something if you want to get into this industry. So I heard about this program called the Ween Academy, which is no longer, unfortunately, but it's literally, they take about 20 women, and we have a whole course for the 2 months in the city, and we have different professors from Angela Yee, Gia Peppers, these are women who are in the industry already established. And so it was no joke. I ended up applying my first year, didn't get in. So I was like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to come back the next year and audition again. And then I finally made it. And it's over 500 women from all over the world trying to get into this. And I really think that ended up shaping me and gave me an understanding of what's going to, be what they want from me in the industry and what's going to go on. How do I have to network? What do I need to do? Establish what my goal is. And so from there, I just started getting a lot of different internships from I didn't even want to do writing, but I just needed a foot in the door in music. So I went from writing at Hot 97 to Rap Fest, then got a marketing internship at Capitol Records, then went to Universal, got a brand partnerships internship. Mind you, I want to be on TV. I want to be on radio, right? So I'm doing all this extra stuff. And then I finally got my dream internship with Angie Martinez over at 105.1. And it kind of just went from there. And I'm finally at Audiomack. So all world. And I'm using all those skills that I got from each and every single one of those internships to fulfill my role now. So
that's so cool. I think a lot of people who are coming up in the industry now are just want to get their feet in as many places as possible. So it's a good standard. And what about you, Sammye? Go ahead.
So I'm from a small city. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I moved to Atlanta to attend Spelman College. I was a psychology with a track and pre-law major. Nothing to do with music. Spelman had nothing to do with music. It's a liberal arts college. So I wanted to be a lawyer, but I also wanted to do something in music. So it was however those can coincide and complement each other, that's what I wanted to do. Didn't know what that looked like, didn't know what that was going to be. All my friends were going to law school, and I ended up getting an internship while I was in college from one of my best friends. Randomly, she was dating this guy who's in the music industry who was trying to get her to come work for him. And she was like, oh, well, I don't do that, but my best friend Sammye loves music. So literally that's how I got my first internship. And I started working with him at his management company. And I ended up being in the studio a lot, understanding how studio sessions work, meeting a lot of different producers, a lot of different creatives, a lot of different artists, just understanding the fundamentals and the lay of the land of just being in the studio. And from there, I was able to build, numerous relationships. I was still in college though. And then I ended up leaving there to take a little time off to focus on school so I could graduate. And then I ended up getting an internship at a small boutique booking agency. And right there was that was my indoor. That was where I met so many key relationships, because everyone, all the managers used to come to the booking agency to sign the agreements on behalf of their clients. So I just used that to my advantage. And I met all different type of people. It was Futures manager and Metro Boomin's manager and just all these different people who I met, who I still maintain relationships with several years later. And from there, I did that about I want to say 2 years. which I learned a lot. And I was like, this is great, but this is not what I want to do. I want to be more so hands-on on the music and creative side. So I ended up leaving there. And one of my Spelman sisters had posted on Facebook, like looking to replace myself at the front desk of the studio. So I applied, I ended up getting the job, and it was Akon and his brother Boo's studio. So started off at the front desk. Obviously, that was not my end goal. Who wants to work at the front desk? But I was like, I'm going to maximize and take advantage of the opportunity because I set the precedent for when people walk in the door. So they have to see me before they even come to see who they're going to see. So I was like, I'm going to just take advantage of this. And I would meet people and I would just be very much accommodating and be a fly on the wall and just learn as much as I could just from sitting at the front desk, because so many conversations would happen. And like I said, so many people would just end up talking to me because I was right there waiting for the person to come get them. Literally, I think I was at the front desk maybe 4 months, and I ended up getting a promotion to personal assistant to Boo and assistant studio manager to the studio. Then I was executive assistant to Boo. Then I was studio manager. Then I literally just worked my way up from there, and I was running all of Boo Vision and Convict, like all their entities, from their franchises to publishing to the studio to their clients. Literally anything you can think of, I was doing. And I think that's definitely, more than anything, everything that I did played a pivotal and an instrumental role to who I am today. But I would say working with Boo and Con, because they're brothers, so you work with one, you work with both. That probably shaped me into who I really am and who I really was, because I had no choice but to figure it out. Like, I mean, I had my good friend Amber who hired me. She played a great role in helping me figure out things at the beginning. But when she left, I was like, oh shit, like I'm on the phone with lawyers, negotiating things. I'm like, I never talked to them before. Like, this is crazy. But I figured it out, and it helped form my hustle and my way of thinking to, I'm only a solution finder. Doesn't matter how it's done. Let's just get it done and execute. So while I was there, I ended up working with a touring company called Blue Alley Touring. And basically I started off making bank runs because I wasn't making any money doing what I was doing, which is okay. That's part of it. You work your way up. But I was like, I need more money. So I started off making bank runs for like K Michelle and just a lot of different artists. And then I worked my way up to project management. So then I'm doing project management for K Michelle and Jacob Lattimore and a few other artists. Then from there, I'm still doing Boo Vision, by the way. And from there, I started doing day-to-day management for K Michelle. So that's why, you should stick to things. You just never know what's going to be the outcome. Like I said, I started off making bank runs, then I ended up being her day-to-day manager. So while I was doing both of those, it was great, but I felt like, this is cool, but what's the next level? Like, I feel like I kind of hit my glass ceiling because I feel like I've exhausted everything I could possibly do under the umbrella that I'm in. And this is why you should make sure you maintain relationships and network across, not always up, but up is always great. So one of Boo's writers, the engineer that used to engineer all the time for him, ended up going to this place called Mean Street Studios. Atlantic is based in Mean Street Studios. He hit me like, hey, they're looking to empower a woman at Atlantic. They don't have any female A&Rs. I went over there to someone who I'd already known, my friend Chris Jones, and we started talking, and then they hired me as a consultant. And while I was consulting, literally, I just started going over there, putting together sessions. That's how I got hired as a consultant. So then as a consultant, I probably was one for maybe 4 months. And normally you're consulting for 2 years, but I was busting my ass. I was like, I'm about to show them. So from there, A Boogie had kind of moved down to Atlanta for a year, and he had an A&R, but the A&R was based out of New York. So I was like, oh, this is my chance. So he always would hit me for writers and producers. So I just started feeding him writers and producers. And probably 8 months later, that's how we came out with Hoodie Season. So I co-A&R'd Hoodie Season, his biggest project to date. And then, I would say in that interim, they hired me as a full-time, which is director of A&R. From there, I've worked on Cardi, I signed Cali, who else? A couple more people. So yeah, that's where I am.
Wow. I hope
Sorry, kind of long story.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just interesting how all of y'all came from humble beginnings. You had to hustle. You had to really work to get to where you are today. Y'all are like all truly inspiring to me, and I know to all of us here in the chat, in the audience as well. I can see some saying, "Yeah, yeah, I know, right?" Some were saying like, "Yeah, those name drops. You did those so nonchalantly." Like, "Hey, Boogie, what?" Love him. But yeah. So I think it's so amazing to see just 3 Black women just dominating in the music industry. And when I was meeting with y'all earlier, we really connected over some of the same values. So at Finessed Media, we have a lot of BIPOC identifying folks in the community who are aspiring to be in your shoes someday, to like do things that you do. So for those of us wondering, what is some advice that you could give to young folks of color who are trying to come up in the music industry? Anyone can go first. Angie, did you unmute? Or
Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll go. I think the biggest advice that I'll give, I think people don't like to talk about it often, but literally first impressions are everything. Like reputation is everything in this industry, and especially like relationships. A lot of the jobs that I have come across or gotten has been off of a referral. And it's like, you need to speak to everyone. It's not about, I think Sammye even mentioned, it's not about networking up, it's networking across. Like, you just never know where anyone is going to be at some point, no matter what. Like, that was one of the main things I took from each and every single one of my internships. Like, I would go into a building, I'm talking to the man who's doing the mail, I'm talking to whoever, like, you know what I mean? Just saying hello. Like, and honestly, that just comes with being a good person. You know, it shouldn't even have to be anything to be said, but literally sometimes it's just like little conversations that you may have, even 2 seconds with someone, could really make a difference, can really show someone who you are, and also make you stand out from the other person. So I would always say that, like, even for my internship before I got to Power, I applied 3 times, right? I applied 3 semesters. I didn't get it until my 4th time trying. And by then I had the resume of all these internships under my belt, but it was with the Wien Academy, I had the opportunity to go and visit the station, Power 105.1. Like, I think when Angela came to be our professor, I went to her assistant at the time, right? Most people were like, okay, we'll just go to Angela and ask her. But I'm like, I know she's going to be way too busy. I'm going to go to her assistant. Of course, I introduced myself to her. But then when I went to her assistant, I'm like, hey, you know, let's learn more about what you do. And I'm really trying to visit Power 105.1. So I worked with her assistant to get me in there. I went to shadow Angela for the day. It was amazing. And I spoke to every single person in there, the producer, who's working the boards, etc. Just a friendly hello. And then when it came 2 years later, right? Fast forward 2 years later, I stayed in communication with her assistant. And then she emailed me one day and was like, hey, the application just went up, right? So I did the application. And then when I went in for my interview, finally got an inside interview. And I went into that building, I knew everybody. Everybody remembered my face. I literally thought nobody would remember me, but it was literally the Breakfast Club producer. I'm like, hi, I'm Angie. Said, stop it. We know each other. I said, what? Like, I was shocked. And then so I was like, yeah. And then I'm going in. I ended up seeing a friend who now, like, I had no idea she was an intern there. The minute I walked in, she was literally like, I know her. Like, everyone just knew my face. They didn't really know me, but they knew my face because when I had the opportunity to shadow, I really tried to, like, you know, make an impression, because you never know when you're in the room, you want to be that person. And so I ended up getting the internship, and they really said, you know, you spoke to everyone. A lot of people were recommending, like, she's the one that you should choose. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know. And a lot of the relationships I have now that I even use being at Audiomack goes based off of some of my like wing sisters who are coming up with me, not even the founders or the professors, but the women that were in the program with me, you know, the interns that were there at Power, at Universal. That's who I'm still in contact with and helping me. Hey girl, we need this artist to come through for something at Audiomack. Can you help me? Oh yeah, I work at Warner. Listen, I'm gonna talk to them. And then boom, we get it. So that's what it's all about. And it honestly feels much better when you're like working with other people who are coming beside you, because they understand what you're going through in that moment. You know, all the other execs who are much older, they went through, you know, that whole Diddy stage. You got to go get me the coffee. You got to go do this, da, 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 da. It's much different now. I'm not going to walk down a whole bridge and go get you coffee when I could Uber Eats it real quick and it's here in 2.5 seconds. You know, it's a different day and age. So it's like you have to keep a lot of things in mind, but my generation is going to understand that we know how to hustle within that. So yeah. Sorry for the thing, but that would be my advice. Definitely first impressions are everything, and speak to everyone, build those relationships, make sure you maintain them, even if it's just following them on Instagram, saying, hey, happy birthday, that goes a long way.
Definitely. I hope everyone's taking notes. They are dropping some amazing pieces of advice and gems, y'all. Go ahead, Sammye.
For sure. I would completely agree. I think this whole industry is politics and it's relationships. Just to touch base on what Angie said, like I went to school with so many dope people who are doing great things in the music industry, like Des and B, right, who have 6 degrees. They do a lot of different amazing campaigns for literally everyone, brands, artists. Cam Kirk, I went to college with him, who has the Collective gallery art studio here in Atlanta and doing major things. I knew Cam before he even started taking pictures when we were 17 in college. And it came back full circle because last year I was able to do something like, no label has ever done, which was do a partnership and sign Cam Kirk's art gallery to Atlantic Records. So that's been a great thing. Like that, I say, I've known him for so many years. We never did business this whole entire time, but last year was the time for us to do business and bring it to fruition. So that's been amazing. And that's what I always say, like, you should keep relationships, maintain relationships. Like when I was Boo's assistant, like a lot of people embraced me, but a lot of people treated me like shit as well. And so they didn't even understand, like, I'm the gatekeeper to Boo. Like he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't picking up your call. He definitely wasn't picking up your calls. You literally had to go through me to get to him. So, just understanding, like, just even like morally and just being a good person, you should speak to everyone. Don't treat the janitor any different than how you should treat the CEO of the company, because you have situations like Diddy and Andre Harrell. When Diddy was working for Andre Harrell fired Diddy because he felt like, yo, I'm gonna just let you do your own thing. I'm sure Diddy didn't understand at the time, like, damn, he just let me go, like, just to do my own thing, because he didn't probably see the bigger picture at the time. But then he turned back around, came up with Revolt, and then hired Andre Harrell to run it. So it's like, you just never know how things come full circle, and who you're gonna end up doing business with or who you're gonna be in the same room with. So it's just like, treat everyone equally, and especially when you're coming up, like, you got to utilize each other. So everyone on this panel should be exchanging contact information. You never know, like maybe you want to start a management company and then you have people who are songwriters, producers, or artists on here. Like, you don't have to work for a label to do any of that. Like, you can do that on your own, but it's just taking advantage of each opportunity and maximizing, each situation more than anything. And I would say, just to people up and coming and trying to figure it out, and women of color, like, just stay focused. Don't let Instagram ruin your perception or your thought process of where you should be in life. Hey, if you have to do an internship for 2 years or maybe even 3, like, I'm obviously be able to gauge when it's time to get out, but you just never know what that can lead to. So that's my take.
Definitely. And thank you for bringing up people exchanging contact information. We do have a contact sheet in the chat, so make sure I fill that out. Go ahead, Alena.
Yeah, I was going to say, just like Angie said, I feel like networking is super important. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't create genuine relationships. I think one thing I saw in the music industry that was really missing was people being genuine. And I think that's how I kind of realized I can really build great relationships. Like, I literally scream out all the time, I'm where I'm at because of my homies. You know what I mean? Like, I've been able to treat people so well, and I've had always a sense of passion that people have always been able to speak very highly of me. And I think in an industry where people are really about themselves, it's so important to be about others. Like, I would be that person I'll call, like, fuck what's going on with the artist, like, how are you? You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have really appreciated that about me. And outside of that, I think really, really believing in yourself. I think one thing that has always set me aside from a lot of people is that I walked in a room thinking I can get it done if I knew how to get it done or not. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I've always believed in. Like, people continuously ask me, like, how did I get here? And it's like, I've always bet on myself in this industry where you're going to be told no. Like, literally, when I first moved out to LA, I applied to Capitol Records for 6 months straight, from assistant to to like the mail room everywhere. And I kept getting no's. And like, I only applied to that job. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I think being able to continuously believe in myself and have this battery in my back, I think that's why where I am now. Like, being a girl from Oakland, like the music industry is so far gone. Like people don't even know what I do for real. Like I say I do marketing and people are constantly asking me like, what is that? You know what I mean? And I think for me in this industry, it's like being myself. I come to the table, I'll be like, yo, I'm not super corporate. You feel me? I'm a girl from Oakland, like with a little Southern swag. Like I pride myself on being myself. And I think when it comes to having relationships, like I worked with the city girls, I love that they're authentic. You know what I mean? Like I don't got to tell them what to do. It works for them. You know what I mean? And being able to kind of really build that out of artists. So I think me being able to be relatable, authentic and genuine is what really got me here. And especially being a Black woman with the stigma that we have, I think it's very important to be kind, to be friendly. You know what I mean? To give people opportunities. Like I worked at Motown when I first started working up, and I worked with Ethiopia, and her being a Black woman in that position, like was just insane to me. You know what I mean? Like I felt thankful to just be in her presence, be in her room. And like, I don't know but about you guys, but I'm like an old school girl. So like, I kind of grew up watching like Motown and like Temptations and shit like that. So like for me to be able to be at the same table as her really showed me, even being at an assistant level, is that that's really possible. And I think for me, like what I tell people all the time is like, you really got to believe in yourself, because this shit will really break you down. And I think that there's a lot of people trying to put people against each other, female artists against female artists and so forth. And it's the same thing in the music industry. It's super political. Everybody wants taglines, headlines. Like, I think for me, it's just being down to earth, being who you are, being genuine, and being passionate about what you do. It really shows. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for that answer and all of your answers. I'm sure all of us are feeling really inspired by each of you today. I know I am. I want to get into more of some things about yourself. So what has been your favorite part of doing what you do in each of your roles? So, and also what are some of your favorite projects you've worked on? Alena, you want to go first?
Yeah, so while working at Motown, I worked really closely with QC artists. So that's like City Girls, Lil Yachty, Migos, and now with the management company I worked on, I would honestly say probably my biggest and most favorite project is probably the most upcoming Nicki release. With Little Baby, she had Do We Have a Problem? And like, I just felt like for me to be able to work with Nicki, just knowing like a year ago, I was a marketing coordinator, and to become a marketing manager, working with like a top level artist like that, like has been such a humbling experience. And I think for me, being kind of like a consumer, always being a fan of her and saying like, damn, I wish she would do this, or, oh my gosh, if she did this, this would be so fire, and being able to really have that impact. I was just super excited to work her latest single. I think it was amazing to know she hasn't released a song in 3 years. So to know that we kind of needed to warm her back in the marketplace, really kind of allow her to understand the importance of TikTok and the different platforms, because music has changed so differently, you know what I mean? Versus like a City Girls where their personality is going to drive it, you know what I mean? But Nicki Minaj is at that level where you kind of want that mysterious factor, you know what I mean? So I think being able to like create a marketing rollout that the Barbs and the fans and everybody can kind of be a part of was definitely a really defining moment for me.
Super dope. I'm sure there are so many Barbs in here. What about you, Angie?
So I would say, of course, so we all know Audiomack is music streaming and music discovery platform. So prior to that, I was at like a radio station and different labels, which I realized at the label, it was cool. And then when I got to the radio station, I enjoyed the fact that I was able to work with all artists. So streaming has given me the opportunity to where I'm not just like stuck with whoever is on the roster, but it's artists from everywhere, independent, major labels, international. So I think that that's one of like the funnest aspects of it. And so because I work closely with these labels and with the artists and do the tours and the visits, I think it's amazing to see them not only established artists and producers as well. Like we had Hitmaker come through, and it was just amazing to actually like hear his vision, have that conversation. What does he want to do? What is the future of just artists, R&B? Like it's amazing to be in these rooms with so many different execs that you may never get the chance to, you know, from all over the place. Just soak in all those gems, and then also be a factor in being able to help them on what's next in their career. I like I like enjoy when I get artists who are on the come up. So not always established, but are on the come up, because you genuinely get to be a part of helping them succeed. Like Audiomack is one of the reasons why we broke Rod Wave, you know? So we were the streaming company that helped define his moment. So that was just like amazing to know that, like, okay, we saw him from where he was here and to where he's at now. That's just like an amazing feeling. I mentioned earlier that I'm a part of our social action committee, which is a committee that came in actually a few months after I was hired, and I really wanted to do something for like our people. It was kind of a lot of towards the Black Lives Matter movement. I was trying to figure out, okay, well, how can we really help? How can we make a difference within Audiomack? And I think that that's probably one of my favorite accomplishments, or like, you know, projects that we got to work on, because even during Black History Month, I implemented this idea, this content piece, which was for Black-owned businesses. And so it was press play on Black-owned businesses. We got to work with Rick Ross and Swiss Beats, had an interview, and just had them tell all their gems on how important it is to run a business as a Black man in America, as a Black person in America. That was amazing. And then even just like, you know, implementing Bono and Verified, which is like a series that we have where you literally see the difference of like samples in music. And so like, I love everything about it. I just love the history of hip hop and just like, you know, R&B in general. So being able to do that and also have the opportunity to work with all these different artists, producers from, like I said, mainstream, independent, etc. I think that's the most like fulfilling thing about my job as well.
That is super cool. I also love learning about history, specifically Black music history. So like all you just said, I resonated with so quickly. And also just seeing like a small artist on the come up, just rising, seeing that is, I feel like that is so amazing, inspirational. Just, I have so many words I want to say, but go ahead, Sammye.
To Angie's point about breaking Rod Wave on their platform, you all also played an instrumental role in my artist Kibo Money, who had an Audiomack performance, and that brought a lot of light to him. Little Baby reposted it, and a few other artists, so appreciate that as well. But I would say my favorite part of it is, you know, finding someone that has dreams and hopes and a vision of who they want to be, what they want to be as an artist, as the next level of themselves in their career, and being able to provide them an opportunity to potentially change their life. So I'm always like, I'm very much like a genuine and organic person when it comes to like me signing different artists. Obviously, like we have a research team, so they send us people all the time. And I'm just not the person that's like a clout chaser, or the person that's like, well, they got 1 million this week, let me go run and sign them. Like, no, I'd rather like find you more so from the beginning and work and build with you. And sometimes like, yeah, I have to do my job and I have to entertain those other people who more so maybe I wouldn't want to sign, but because Atlantic's bringing it to me. But I'm very much a person that wants to meet you, get to know you. And sometimes we don't have time for that. Like sometimes it's a sense of urgency. And so it's like Capital's trying to sign it. We got to sign it. Like, what are we doing? But more so how I like to move is meet you, build with you, because I look at it like we're in a relationship. Either you're my child or we're married, however you want to look at it. We're bound together through the good and the bad. And that's what I have to explain to people. Like, I want to know someone who's going to have work ethic, because my work ethic is on 1,000. I want to know someone who's going to meet and match my energy towards what they're doing and to build them and take them to the next level. Because I'm always going to give 500%. So I want to make sure you're giving 500%. I'm going to stand on the table when you have no idea what's going on, and I have to fight Atlantic about certain things, because, you know, nothing's always perfect. No situation is perfect. So I feel like as long as I can, you know, create that synergy with you, that's what I like to do. I like the creative process. I like being able to get you in the room, understand where you are, and, you know, challenge you. And I did that actually with my artist, Callie. I signed her. We haven't announced she signed, but hey, she signed. We
heard it here first,
folks. Huh?
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. So I signed her almost a year ago. And when I met her, she was in a space where everything was like deep, dark beats, the same type of sound. I'm like, oh, no. We're about to elevate you. So she was always super talented, a fire writer. And I just started introducing her to different creatives to build that and to bring that out of her. And I had her trying things that she's never tried before, which is amazing to see, like, that trajectory and the roller coaster of, hey, no, I don't know about that, or hey, this is cool, like I want to try more of this. I love just being part of the creative process. And she really listened and took heed, and we have a great project coming out March 11th. So hey. But yeah, I really like just overall the creative process of everything and changing people's lives.
I love that. I love that. We talked a little bit about how each of y'all navigate within the music industry, who you work with and everything. But I want to know a little bit more about you and what are some of your goals for your career? What do you aspire to do for the future? Anyone can jump in.
Angie, you got it first?
Yeah. So when I first, I think that a lot of people, it's great being sure of what you want to do, but realistically, no one always knows. We always change our mind. What is it that we're interested in? Exactly. Like I told y'all, I said, I'm gonna be Oprah, I'm gonna be on TV, and that's just what I'm going to do. And then it was like funny when I thought, okay, I really want to do radio, I want to do radio. Finally got the opportunity to do radio. And then I realized, I may not want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, ain't that crazy? I tried so hard to get into that building and get that internship, and that was what I needed. That experience made me realize I don't think that this is God's purpose for me. So I often pray and try to figure out, all right, God, tell me what your purpose is, what I need to do, where I need to be. And so I've come to the conclusion, and I think like one of my mentors really helped me identify, like, you can do whatever you want to. So you don't have to label yourself and say, I'm going to just be this one person. Okay, I work in label relations now, so all I have to do for the rest of my life is work in label relations, work my way up, senior vice president. No, that's not what you have to do. So I take it like, listen, I love reality TV. I want to produce a reality TV show one day. I'm so big on like breaking an artist, etc. So I do hope to like one day be a part of like in that A&R field and A&R project, executive producer project. Like that's big for me. I know I'm a creative. I went out and I managed an artist for a year with one of my close friends. And from there, like that was just off of like, okay, I really, really bang with his music. I believe in him. He believes himself. Let's see what we can do with you in a year. And from there, like our goal was obviously to get him signed. And we got him in a lot of rooms seen by like different A&Rs from different labels, got him on a billboard on Times Square, like, produced so many different like music videos, etc. Something that I had no experience in, but just said, hey, listen, if I'm going to do this and I'm interested in it, I'm going to execute and do it to my best ability. So like now I know at some point I would love to manage one of the biggest artists in the game, and I genuinely feel like I know I have it. You just have to have that confidence in yourself, and also like that work ethic that you're gonna get it done, right? So I'm very big on like executing. So for me, it's just I'm not putting myself in a box to say, hey, I just gotta do one thing. I love artists and label relations, and I definitely would love to grow within it someday. And if God willing, I pray actually that all can happen for me. So, just believe in yourself, really pray about what God's purpose is for you and get it all done. Because you might see me on a reality TV show one day. Who knows? Okay.
We'll see you there. What about you, Alena?
I would honestly say I would feel like my really real life, like I feel like my end goal is honestly having my own marketing agency. I feel like being able to work for so many people, I've really been able to be a sponge and absorb and learn so much. And I think for me, I want to see what I can do on my own. You know what I mean? I want to go back to my hometown and really provide internships and provide different opportunities and really just shine light on like the Bay Area's culture. So for me, I would love to start a marketing agency in Oakland. I mean, we have Empire, which is a label, which I love them over there, but I think I want to, do something more on the creative side of things. I think there's such a passion for me to work for, other artists and different projects and be able to work for, amazing companies. But I think at the end of the day, I want to empower myself and be able to provide my, people with my own marketing agency. So ideally, that's what I'm chasing. That's the end goal. Like I'm just over here thugging it out, learning all the things I can, really creating that foundation so I can really, eventually really start my own thing. So.
Awesome. So what we've learned so far from Angie, confidence is key. From Alena, chase your dreams. Sammye, what do you have for us? What are some of your goals, aspirations?
So my goal, one, is to change the world, like for sure. I feel like, as Lena said, I've learned so much from like different places that I've worked with, and just being around so many amazing people, like things to do, things not to do. Essentially, I want to work my way up the label. I want to run a label because I feel like I've learned an enormous amount of things that I can do to apply and do things differently, because I know I want to represent and how I want to, bring people in and give certain people opportunities and not run it like the standard way other people run their labels and things of that nature. Mind you, there's no blueprint to this. Like there's no technically wrong or right way for this, but I know what I've been able to gain from everything and how I would like to apply it. Also, like building my own empire. Like I don't want to work for someone for the rest of my life. Like I do want to work my way up, but at a point there's my own building that I want to have and, provide opportunities for, and also incorporate philanthropy. So that's my biggest thing, giving back to women of color, young women, any way I can help. That's what I want to do.
Amazing. All of this was just so great. And that'll bring me to my last question for y'all. All of you mentioned about like being really passionate about speaking up for your communities and giving back to your communities as well. I want to relate it to the music industry about what people in the music industry and the industry itself is doing. So what changes have you seen in the music industry, and what do you think is next for it, relating in generally?
Should I go? Okay,
yeah,
go ahead. Biggest changes that I've seen, I think it's just like the mentorship that I feel like a lot of different companies are implementing different internships and mentorships now for young execs, which is like extremely important, especially for like young Black execs. When I was coming up, and I'm only 24 years old, right? So I'm still a bit younger. And so I was lucky. I know like from hearing different stories from a lot of my mentors, like they never had that opportunity to have like a family or even just an organization that could really help build them to like that future top exec. But I've been blessed in order to be able to be a part of them. And like even now at where I'm at, I'm still in mentorship program. I'm part of Femit Forward. I'm a mentee underneath that. I have an amazing mentor, Brittany King Brock, who literally helps me with anything. You would think that maybe at like a specific stage, okay, now you know it all and you can go forward, you learned all your lessons. But every day I'm still learning a new lesson from her. Like I'm figuring out how to deal in this workspace and mental health, how important it is, especially for a Black woman, figuring out how to advocate for yourself, how to advocate when it comes to your finances, how much you should get. Nobody really wants to talk about that. What's the best way to approach, I want to get a promotion, etc. within this industry. Like, that those keys are very important. And so like, I hope that it continues. And that's what I really want to make a part of, like my legacy is really building up the next future execs, because I know how important it was for me to have all of these different mentors. And it's not anything for anybody who's looking. I don't want you to like seek a mentor. Sometimes it just happens naturally, right? A lot of my mentors is never anything that I went out and said, oh, hey, can you mentor me or figure it out? No, it was kind of just like at a stage in my life, they were there and kind of like saw my passion and really wanted to like hone in. Okay, you know what? I want to help you and I want to, guide you any way that I can. If you ever need anything, just reach out to me and I can call you. So like at every single stage of my life, I've always had a different mentor and I'm still close to each and every single one of them. But I think that that's literally like the importance of that. And I think that that's what's new in this generation. I hope it continues. And I really hope, Audiomack, we now have an internship program. I hope you guys all go apply now. It's open. The application is open. And you can literally be mentored by like 5 amazing music execs, and then also get an internship within like our different departments in Audiomack. So definitely go look out for that. And I'm hoping that it really does change. I want to see more women in higher places, you know what I mean, different positions and titles. That's extremely important for me. I think that we are amazing. We bring something to this industry and it's really important, okay? Nothing works without Black women, without women of color. And so I need everyone to really hone in on that and appreciate it and continue, you know?
Period. Yes, let's soak that in, everyone. Let's soak it in. Go ahead. Go ahead, Alena or Sammye.
Yeah, I would honestly say something I feel like is new is that you cannot deny Black greatness. Every time I'm in this room, it's like we have to be in those rooms. You know what I mean? Every time there's a conversation, people are constantly asking my opinion. Is this going to resonate with the culture? Is this culture friendly? How are Black women going to feel about this? How's the Black community going to feel about it? So I feel so empowered. I realized that we are the culture, you know what I mean? We are the music that people listen to. We are the trendsetters. We are kind of the foundation for what's really going on. And I feel like understanding that power, you know what I mean? I've always been authentic to me. I don't hide that. I'm a Black girl from Oakland and I'm gonna be me, you know what I mean? Like I own that. And I feel like in today's like marketplace and just in society and in the industry overall, like that's so important. Being yourself, I feel like understanding and speaking and voicing up for, you know, things that you feel like either stands for the culture, isn't for it, you know what I mean? And I think that's something that's really new because you didn't see that, you know what I mean? The boardrooms are changing. It's not just only VPs and EVPs that are just white men, you know what I mean? There's more Black women, you know what I mean? I feel like Ethiopia is a great example of that. Things are changing. Even like just the other day, I think Billboard's highlighted like their top Black women, you know what I mean? Like these things weren't done 5 years ago, you know what I mean? Things are changing and we're becoming undeniable. You have to give us our credit. We're literally making shifts. We literally have our hands on this and we are the foundation to what's going on. And I think that they know that now. And I think I use that to my advantage. I'm authentically and unapologetically Black and I utilize that and I have no problem saying that. So I think
yes, thank you so much. I love that. Go ahead, Sammye.
Love that for both of you all. Yeah, I would completely agree with both of them. Like they hit it on the head. I think it's a matter of continuing to put Black women, women of color into these positions so we can provide this for the next generation down 10 years from now. I think like it's still a barrier we have to break. Yeah, it's us more than any other time in the music industry, like that we're being put in these certain positions, that we're running these labels. Actually, my boss, Lauren Gaba, she just got promoted to president of Black music and she had been at Atlantic 20 years. So it's like, it's amazing to see like her trajectory and her run and finally, you know, get her flowers of what she deserves. You know, people don't understand like what we go through, like even just being a Black woman, like we're a woman and we're a Black woman. So that's you X's right there. And we got to work that much harder. We got to stand out that much more in the room. We have to make sure like, you know, people don't perceive us as, you know, can I curse on here? I don't know if I can curse on here. Oh, perceive us as a bitch. And it's crazy because it's like a woman could say something and they're like, oh, she's just being emotional or she's just having a bad day. A man could say something like, oh yeah, like that's right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like continuing to project the amazing energy and light we bring to the room, to the table. Like, that's why I love Atlanta because, you know, I feel like we are the culture. Like everyone always sends someone down here to see what we have going on or hire a rep down here. They still haven't really like built fundamentally and foundationally here, but I think it's coming slowly but surely. And Atlantic is one of the like only labels that really has a presence here, that they bought a building, you know, to really set the precedent. And I appreciate that. And we're hiring more and more Black people. So I think we just have to keep the trajectory going. Like my friends Brianna and Jamila, they did The Show Must Be Paused, which I think created a major breakthrough in the industry. And I know they have to keep going to, you know, keep everyone in the industry understanding like how imperative we are to anything that we do. So that's my thing.
Yes to all of that. Y'all, this was so amazing. I feel so inspired. I know that there are some people here in the audience who are, this is probably their first event that they've ever been to in the music industry. And just, I'm so glad that they got to speak to y'all today first to get their feet wet and just know about, one, some amazing Black women in the industry, and two, that they feel inspired to know y'all and to be like y'all in the future. So yeah, I really appreciate all of you, three of you, for speaking with us today. And from that, we're going to go ahead and move into our breakout rooms. Just go ahead straight into it. And Alexi is going to help me with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So essentially the way that the breakout rooms will work is we'll have one executive in each room. So Jordan will be with Angie. I'll be with Sammye, and then Alena will be with Kit Kat. So Danny is going to put the three of you in breakout rooms, and then the rest of you, for those of you that are in the audience, you're welcome to choose which breakout room you'd like to be in, and you can switch around. So Danny, are you ready to go ahead and open the breakout rooms?
Yeah, give me 1 second and then we should be good.
Also, while Danny is getting that ready, if you are enjoying the event, I want y'all to unmute yourselves and give us a little woo woo. I know someone was from the Bay Area. I heard an A in there.
I heard a Y in there.
Yeah. Cool. So the breakout rooms are open and you all can go ahead and join your assigned rooms.
Yeah, why don't we get to know some of the folks in the room, because people are going to be filing in. It'll be good to get to read the room a little bit. So we've got, I see our team, but why don't we start off with someone that's not on our team? Olivia, you've been doing awesome things with GBTRS and in your own life. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Hi. I just turned on my camera for the first time during this whole entire meeting. But my name is Olivia Hagans. I live in New York City right now. And I am the head of socials for Girls Behind the Rock Show, which is a nonprofit organization that helps, women, non-binary people, gender diverse people all across the board get resources and opportunities in the music industry. And then I am also a production associate. So I'm an intern for Madison Square Garden as a production associate. So yeah.
Nice. Lovely having you on here. Who else can we say hi to? Aubrey, I was chatting with you on Instagram. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, guys.
Hi, Aubrey.
How are you guys doing?
Doing well, thanks. How about you? Do you want to give us who you are, what you do in the industry, and where you're from?
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds.
Cool.
Thank you. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say to Miss Alena Jackson, you have no idea how starstruck I am and how much I have like a fan fever, because if the walls in my house could speak, they will witness that I always, like every single day, I manifest that one day I will be signed by SALXCO, because I just admire the work you guys do and the legends there. The Weeknd, for example, and Lady Asra, because I'm Ethiopian as well. So it's like, makes me so proud, and half Arab as well. Shamsia, Brandy, all those, like, I'm such a big fan of SALXCO. You guys have no idea how much I admire you. So my real name is Aubrey Nicole, but I go by Nick Lyon, and I live in Oslo, Norway. I'm a rapper, songwriter, and social media influencer and TikToker. And I started, like, music has always been my passion ever since I was a little girl. And I started writing raps before 8 years ago. And I just started to, like, connect myself to the people in the industry like you guys. After so many years of me living in darkness and fear, just like, finally shining my light, thanks to my friend Manuel. And the genres that I focus on, I'm just like, I look up to Doja Cat, Nicki Minaj. I look up to all those versatile rappers that can, like, push themselves and get out of the comfort zone and say, okay, you know what? I can be an alternative rapper like them too, you know? I can rap on rock beats, funk, whatever you name it. And I'm working on it now. And
Nice.
yeah, and
Super
I'm working
happy.
also. Yeah, and I'm also working very hard so I can move to the US because my family lives there, so I can like be there in person, so I can work with you guys and other music executives that I got to know on Clubhouse. So yeah, I'm grateful and I'm humbled to be here. Thank you guys.
Of course, we'll do a couple more introductions and then we can hop into an overall discussion. I see Marisha, is that how you pronounce your name?
Super close, Marhisha.
Oh, next time for sure. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm Marhisha. I currently live in Texas, but I'm trying to relocate to Los Angeles as soon as I can. I am in digital marketing for like my real job, and I do a lot of social media management and content creation in that space. And on the entertainment side, I'm editor-in-chief of the Honey Pop, which is a newer online entertainment and pop culture magazine. So.
Thank you, thank you. And then why don't we wrap up with a couple more people actually. Alonzo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, hi everybody. My name is Alonzo Sosa. I'm an A&R director for Film and TV Sync and Brand Alliance and Creative Partnerships for GSM Fiera. I run the East Coast Division. I'm based in Virginia, repping DMV. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Alena for stopping in, and just all the other amazing Black women who came on to just tell their story and just give us an idea of their role. And I've just been really excited so far. This has to be one of my favorites meetups yet, because I got to see where the industry is going, who's getting hired, and just get a feel of the atmosphere of the energy, the personalities, and just the confidence with who in terms of representation, and just all together just really inspired today.
Okay, good. And then we'll wrap up intros with Anam. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Anam. I'm in Canada, so I'm up here. I'm a university student, and my program is global business and digital arts. So we do basically photography, videography, web design, UX research, all that. But for me, I want to go into the music industry and be a musician and sing. I got into producing over summer 2020, and I really liked it. And I like making music, and I'm trying to learn and make connections and learn about the industry. Right now, I'm looking for internships in the music industry. So if there are any that I could go to, send them to me. And yeah.
Okay, cool. And I just saw we actually have one of Alena's coworkers, Ashley, in the room. What's up, Ashley? How are you? Okay.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm hiking right now, so it might be a little hard to hear me. Just coming to support Alena. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. Appreciate the support. And so from here, Alena, did you want to go over any questions or anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like if you guys have any questions, I'm definitely here to answer it. After even just a breakout room, feel free to just send me a DM, and I'm here to help in any way possible. I feel like that's how I kind of got here. People always looked out for me, so I enjoy doing these type of opportunities to really be able to network and be impactful to people's journey into the music industry. So
we appreciate you being here. So just real quickly, like Marhisha just did, if you have a question, go to the reactions button and use the raise your hand feature, so then we can call on each other and just get that going in a nice way. So Marhisha, want to start us off?
Sure. So I feel like I decided to get into the music industry kind of late in my college career. So my college I decided to go to wasn't focused on that. And so it was kind of hard to find internships too in the area that I was located in. So now, as I'm in my digital marketing career, I'm trying to find ways to put myself in that space. So do you have any recommended professional organizations or associations that offer I guess, other events, kind of like this one that we're doing today, or even just like getting in the room with those kind of creatives?
Yeah, for sure. I think like being able to just touch point with like-minded women, like these people on the panel, is really helpful to kind of just find these different network opportunities. I think for me, instead of me always trying to get into the room, I always like to have something to bring to the table. So I always recommend working with maybe an up and coming artist, doing their digital marketing, and then allowing people to say, hey, I worked with this kid, this is what I was able to do, setting realistic KPIs, and then just really showing your overall impact. I think in this music industry is so many, it's kind of overwhelming with so many people wanting to kind of get their foot in, that I think for me, what I've been always like, I feel like has helped me really pinpoint and really be able to really help people is people come to me with something, you know what I mean? Because in that way, it's something that I can't deny, right? I can deny maybe us, sitting down or having a conversation. But if you're like, hey, look what I was able to do, I have to take notice of that. And I think that's what I kind of did in the music industry. So that's something I would do. But like I said, feel free to send me a DM if I hear about any events or anything like that. I'll definitely send them your way, or any intern opportunities. Again, I'm here to be a vessel in any way. So
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. And just to reiterate, before we go to the next question, if anyone has a question, use the reactions button and the raise your hand feature. So cool. Olivia, why don't you go for it?
Yeah, sure. So I graduate from college in August, and I've just been looking at a lot of opportunities when it comes to companies, like, in marketing and stuff like that, and like, beginner roles, whether it's like assistants or coordinators and stuff like that. But I noticed like a lot of the time, like when these positions get filled, they get filled by somebody who knows somebody within the company and everything like that. So I'm just like kind of wondering, like, what do you think like is the best way to approach, like, looking for these entry roles and everything, like especially like in marketing positions at like different labels and stuff like that, or just in the music industry in general? What's the best way to approach it, and like how far should I look in advance since I'm graduating like in August and such?
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely agree with the fact that like I feel like labels, they kind of hire within, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like word of mouth. I think one thing that really helped me when getting the job was I actually became really cool with the HR manager, right? So because I kept applying to Motown, I was going through the same person. And so at that point, she really wanted me to win. She was fighting for me. She was constantly sending me different like opportunities, and she saw how hungry I was for it. She's like, this girl keeps emailing me every fucking day about a job here. At that point, she wanted to give me a job. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's not necessarily always making sure your name or you're connected to someone in the building. Sometimes it's building those low-level relationships. And I can honestly say I end up getting a job at a label because of the HR rep who didn't know me from nobody. You know what I mean? I think she was able to just see how hungry I was. And then also being a part of different panels like this where you can connect. I know my job is looking for interns. I'm actually currently looking for an assistant. So I feel like being able to be in these type of rooms where you're able to be face-to-face and hear about these kind of internal opportunities, it's going to be, really key for you. So again, Olivia, if I can help in any way, if you want to connect, or, if I hear about any opportunities, you can use me as a reference or whatever, like however I can really help you get your foot in the music industry. I'm definitely here to do that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I just threw it in the chat, but it's so cool to see these connections happening in real time. So thank you, Olivia, for your question, and thank you, Alena, for your response. Sydney, run it.
Good morning from the East Bay. I just wanted to ask a different kind of question. As you're having your journey and it progresses in time, what is your key takeaway from all your experiences and your lessons? Life is all about lessons and how you choose to perceive things. So what are some things that you kind of just take away from your experiences, and how do you apply that to your life as you keep going?
I always been that person who learned how to have fun with shit, right? So
You're
even
supposed to.
Yeah, even when I wasn't where I wanted to be, I still enjoyed the process. You know what I mean? I love grinding out. Like I kind of started out as a PA working like music videos, and I just loved being a part of every moment. And I think for me, it's like understanding that we have one life. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to really create this life that I want to live, and understanding that power. Like I utilize that even when I'm defeated. Like, yeah, today might have been a bad day, but fuck it, I got tomorrow. So shit might go up. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta really be able to really have those conversations with yourself. And like I've said, it's really just believing yourself. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's something you can't take away. You can always trust in you. You can always build on yourself. And I feel like in a world where people disappoint you, having that self-love, having that self, like care is super important. So for me, I always just have fun with this shit. You know what I mean? Because like once it starts feeling like work, it's kind of like what Drake said, I'm not going to want to do it no more. And I'm such a passionate person. So it's like, instead of being burnt out and like looking at it from like, damn, I'm working so hard, I just allow myself to have fun with it. So just have fun with this shit, enjoy it, continue chasing it. And I think that's how you honestly get in those type of rooms and opportunities, is by just being yourself, having that sense of passion, and again, just having fun with it. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be fun. So
period. I always say that you're supposed to enjoy what you do, but most of all, have fun with this life shit. So thank you, Alena.
Yeah, of course.
So thank you, Sydney. So up next, I'm actually going to have Marley go, and Marley is actually one of Finessed Media's own TikTok marketers. So Marley, want to shoot your question?
Man, I have so many questions, but I'm gonna try to put like two together. I wanted to know what your favorite thing or strategy to use in order to tease fans on a rollout of any kind. And then secondly, have you ever experienced a time when an artist's expectations seemed maybe unrealistic, and what do you do? Like, how do you go about that?
I think for me, when I do marketing rollouts, my biggest thing is conversation. We live in an atmosphere where people be forgetting shit so quickly because there's so much things going on. So for me, I like to tease out things with a conversation, right? So for instance, if I had an artist who's popping on social media and maybe it's a featured artist track, right? I might kind of do the Gunna and Chloe approach, kind of make it look like they're dating, allowing shade room and those platforms to kind of create those conversations. So prior to me releasing a song, that anticipation to figure out what they were working on or what's come from that photo shoot or that little tease moment is really something that I enjoy to do. I think making sure to just kind of make headlines. I like conversation. You know what I mean? I feel like once you got people in your mouth, whether they fuck with it or not, someone's talking about it. You know what I mean? Someone's going to go tap in, someone's going to go check it out. So I think when like teasing records or anything, when it comes to a release, is finding a way to create conversation outside of the track. You know what I mean? So yeah, the song is fire, but what else can we attach the song to? And then to your second question, to keep it 100, people always have unrealistic expectations, dead ass. Like, I feel like I deal with something like that every day. And I always tell people, like, it's okay to start small. You know what I mean? It's okay to start with the low hanging fruit. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Or even I have artists who might look at Coi Leray and they're like, oh my gosh, her marketing is so fire. And it's like, no, she really just be on TikTok going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not no one telling her to do this shit. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like constantly educating the artist is something that's very important, because they do kind of sit back on their phone and they kind of feel like, oh, well, the label is putting this much money, they got all these billboards, but they don't really know what's really going on or how that artist has been teasing or driving a record. Like, I always like to use Coi Leray as an example, because she pushes her own shit. You know what I mean? Before she drops a song, she's going to make 6 TikToks to it, to the point where you're like, fuck it, where is this song at? You get what I'm saying? So I think making sure to roll out things like that. But hopefully that answers your questions.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Aubrey, what's your question?
Yeah, so my question is, because I live in Norway, where the industry is a little bit weak, and I'm a lot in my comfort zone to like go out there and put myself out and sell myself to like the industry. And I just want to know, how can I get out of the comfort zone, and how can I make it to the music industry successfully? Because I always also hear all those people who tell me, oh, the music industry is very big and it's a lot of competition there, and I don't think you can make it, and it's so hard and difficult. And I always tend to like ignore those like comments, because like I feel like if we if we really want something, we should work hard for it, we will get it. But the question is, how can I get out of the comfort zone, put myself out there, and how can I make it successfully? Because I feel like I'm very lonely in this industry here in Norway without nobody helping me. So basically, I'm my own A&R, publicist, manager, like everything in one package, you know? So how can I make it successfully? And how can I just get out there and without fear, without doubt?
Yeah, for sure. I would honestly say we're like, the music industry has changed so much. You know what I mean? Like there's no blueprint. It's not like a standard artist anymore, right? You have artists like Saucy Santana, who's a Black gay male, who's the complete opposite. You know what I mean? So a lot of things are changing. For me, I always tell people to utilize what's already working for you, right? So if you're not someone who's super comfortable, like I think Summer Walker is someone who has social anxiety. So what does she kind of do? Sit in her room, play her guitar, upload her stuff on YouTube. Like if you're passionate about what you want to do, one thing I always tell people is to promote your shit, right? Because if you don't promote your shit, who else will? So like, I always say, before you even think about stepping in the music industry, have something to show them, you know what I mean? So start working on those different platforms like TikTok, you know what I mean? If you see a trend, or like they had that song, Hours and Hours, maybe you kind of remix it the Norway way, you know what I mean? Make it your own, kind of create your own lane, and then just show people why you're different, because the music industry actually loves people being different. I don't want people to think like you have to be skinny, you have to be a pop artist. Like every day you see a new artist pop up that is just against the grain. And so I think for you is just to focus on what's going to work best for you, which is just putting yourself out there any way possible. So I say utilize those social and digital platforms to really just put your music out there. And then once you kind of start building that, you know, that buzz, just continue to find different ways to set yourself apart. Yeah.
And also one last question. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, of course.
How can I be better at social media marketing?
I tell people all the time is one word, and it's being consistent. You know what I mean? Like every day. I mean, of course you want to make sure that content is something that people want to see. You know what I mean? You don't want to just push shit down people's throats. But I feel like if you are an artist, I should at least be able to go to your page and see your song, see a link to it, see something representing that you are an artist. I go to a lot of people's pages and they're like, yo, I do music. And it's like, well, if I tap your shit in on Instagram, like I don't see a link to nothing. Like I wouldn't even know when you were an artist. You know what I mean? So just making sure that you just utilize and just be consistent. That's the only thing I can say. If you're constantly pushing out quality content, then there's no way that you can't, you know, accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, especially in today's marketplace. So thank you.
Thanks, Aubrey, for your questions. Next up, we have, again, another Finessed Media's own Tammy Henderson. She's an artist and she's also an artist marketer. So Tammy, let's run it.
Hey, it's super nice to meet you. I just had a quick question. So I was wondering, like, what are some tips that you have for someone that's starting out in artist marketing or like building up a brand for a newer artist?
I would honestly say is just be creative. You know what I mean? I feel like it's so many things that people feel like people aren't gonna fuck with, people aren't gonna like. And I'm not sure if you guys have like watched the Kanye's documentary, but it really shows you like being you goes a long way. So I think when having these marketing rollouts or when working with the artist is really identifying what's their niche. I always tell people, if I don't fuck with your music, why else am I fucking with you? You know what I mean? And I think that's such an important thing in today's climate, right? If I don't like Cardi B music, I can say, yo, I like what Cardi B stands for. She a girl from the Bronx, she who she is. You know what I'm saying? I can respect that. If I don't like Summer Walker, I could be like, yo, I don't like her look, but I'm a third baby mama, or I can relate to her, or you feel me? Like it's relatable. So I think just making sure that you can pinpoint and identify with the artist what sets them apart, and then really just amplify that. That's something I really do. So I understand if the music is good. I always tell people, a lot of people have good music. It's not about good music anymore. It's about, why are people going to care about you outside of the music? What is it that you stand for? What are people going to be like, you know what, this is why I rock with you. This is why you're my favorite artist. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these cult-based followings is because people really be standing for shit. You know what I mean? Like Kanye's fans are crazy because they really stand for shit. They're unapologetic. Same thing with Nicki Minaj. She is who she is, and her fans follow that. So I think being able to really identify that niche with an artist and then really just amplify that.
Got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Sammye. Up next, we've got Sage, and Sage is actually one of our new interns at the Finessed fam. So Sage, what's going on?
Hi, I just want to say thank you for your time today and speaking today. A lot of what you said was super inspiring. I wrote it all down. I had to. But I just want to know how your marketing changed like post-pandemic, because I know that a lot of marketing is always social media based, but it really was super oversaturated when nobody could go anywhere and they were all, posting on TikTok constantly and Instagram. And how do you break through that kind of saturation? I know you talked about it already a little bit, but what are your tips for that?
Yeah, I would say the worst thing about COVID is that the face-to-face that you were able to have, you know what I mean? Not as many shows, not as many pop-ups, and those like fan moments are super important, especially when building a fan base. So again, I hate to keep saying social media because it's so cliche, but dead ass, like that's the key to success these days. And I think being able to utilize that, right? So if my artist can't pull up and do a live show, maybe we can rent out a studio, right? Maybe we can find a platform to maybe do a live stream performance. Or maybe, hey, I can do like a pop-up. They can kind of just meet somebody there and film it, or link up with their favorite TikToker and kind of create a challenge. Like, I think we're just kind of constantly trying to be creative. You know what I mean? As someone who does marketing, it is very challenging to kind of find different ways to promote an artist when you don't have that face-to-face opportunities. You know what I mean? So many different artists get discovered through different shows or, different like pop-ups and different like, just festivals and so forth. So I think not being able to have that opportunity really definitely sucks. But on the bright side, we have a device that allows us to be able to have that same impact just virtually. Like one of my artists, I'm kind of building out like a metaverse, right? So everything's fucking digital now. So I kind of got to understand this digital world, right? So capitalizing on that and realizing that you can drop merch virtually. There's so many things you can do in this digital age. And it's so crazy because so many people are actually behind. Like some artists, you'll be surprised, they don't even know how to use social media. They don't understand the importance of it. So for those artists who understand how to use that in today's climate, are the artists I see really going very far. So my advice is just to utilize what you already have and kind of make it, in a virtual aspect, right? So any type of shows or going lives and Q&As and linking up with different artists, doing covers and acoustic versions. Like there's just so many things that you can really do. Granted, we just don't have that face-to-face, but that doesn't mean you can't do huge billboard campaigns, right? Like Drake did that fire shit where it was like your favorite artist is featured on the album. You know what I mean? There's so many different dope things that you can really do to amplify a release, in COVID.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thanks, Sage. And so just as a heads up, we're going to be wrapping up the breakout rooms in about 3 minutes. So if we don't get to your questions, make sure to message Lena. Contact info is in the contact sheet. So Shakira, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, you did. And that was
phenomenal.
People don't pronounce it right on the first try, so that was great. So I'm back. I'm in love with you already. And I just want to say, like, being from California, we love Detroit music, right? So
oh my gosh. Ice for Bezzo, all of them, like
literally, I'm on them so crazy. So when I first started getting into like artist management, wanting to like social media and branding, those were the first artists that I went for. So I had an opportunity to work with them in LA over the summer. And I wanted to say, like, being in those studios with all these really top people, I was kind of overlooked as a woman. And, so I want to ask, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome or lack of support while navigating in the industry? And if you have, how did you deal with that and, keep your confidence in yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no surprise that this is a male dominated industry, right? So at least even for me, like I'm young, I'm 27. I walk in a studio, a lot of the times people are used to kind of seeing like a corporate type chick. Like that's not my vibe. I'm gonna come in there looking cute, fly, whatever, like I'm gonna own me. And I think being able to really just have those sense of boundaries, right? So like I kind of set the tone, like I'm nothing to play with, right? So I think having and demanding that sense of respect in these type of rooms is extremely important because I think it sets the tone on how people are gonna move with you forward, right? So I always make sure I always be super professional. If I go to like a studio, I'm probably not drinking, you know what I mean? I'm kind of chilling. Like, I think there's just a certain way to carry yourself. It's not fair because, you know what I mean? I should be able to be myself, but I have to just, keep it 100 with myself and understand just the territory. And so one thing I always say is just like, be yourself and just be confident. You know what I mean? Like I always tell myself I'm an alpha woman, and I walk in every room letting somebody know that. And so I would feel like that's my advice. I feel like I can feel your confidence. You got it in you, girl. So I feel like, listen, all you got to do is just go in there and understand, like, people are going to think what they want to think. If I walk in a room, the last thing I'm thinking about is somebody else. And I think that's very important. You don't want to get caught up in what people are thinking. You're an attractive Black woman. People are going to think whatever they want to think. But one thing that no one can deny is, you know, your work ethic and what you can bring to the table. So just, you know, go crazy with that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've always been like, you know, I always loved music, you know, recording in my free time, but like, I don't really have music experience except for the one that I built up myself. So how would I be able to leverage what I've done when I try to apply for internships and so forth?
Girl, let me tell you, there always is a space in tech for music, okay? Like regardless, there's always a company that's looking for someone. All it takes is just for you to, you know, really look for that specific company that you want to work for. What's a dream for you? Like, okay, yeah, I would want to work for a streaming company, or I want to work for a label, etc. Really hone in, see what your interest is, and then like see if they have an application that's open or a position that's open for it, and just apply. I say just do it. It's not really like a transition. I would say as far as more for tech, they're not really looking for you to be like music savvy or etc. I think that just comes with the job, and that's like the bonus and the plus for it. It's really all about your skills. So especially if you have already that resume and the experience within it, I think it would be smooth sailing for you to get into the music industry and like take over, because I would love to see more women, especially in tech, and more Black women. So I am extremely rooting for you, love. So definitely go for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Sorry for asking. Manny, want to ask a question?
Yeah, first and foremost, Angie, truly inspired by you. The passion, the energy really resonates. Like I was kind of in a rut, and like this kind of just gave me, you know, some motivation. So I appreciate you for that. My question to you is, I'm kind of a music fanatic somewhat, and I don't really have any experience. I have attended like certain events with music artists. I kind of try to network with local artists here. But what would be kind of like the best advice to kind of just getting my foot in the door? Like obviously I have some of it like leverage right now, but what would be some advice on that?
So, well, thank you for your question, Manny. I would definitely say the main thing for you, what I would look for. So in the beginning, I didn't have any like industry experience either. I kind of did the same thing like as you did, where I was freelancing. I didn't go on Twitter. I think my first actual industry experience was based off of an exec. Her name is Jocelyn Rivera, who now works with Press Play Agency. She's a publicist. And so she just posted, she was like, hey, I need an on-air talent for SOBs tonight. Right? There's no other like explanation or anything. And so I literally just DM'd her, and I was like, hey, well, you know, I'm an on-air talent. I would love to know more information about it. She was like, hey, can you send me your highlight reel? And so I literally did not have a highlight reel, but I put it together in about 20 minutes. I just took all the videos I've had at the radio station or anything. I put it together, sent to her. She's like, great, you're hired. Come at 7 o'clock. Mind you, I was broke. Had to ask my dad, can I get $20 to go to New York City? Figured out from Jersey. And I went there from there. She loved my work. Like when I interviewed some of the artists, it was like little TJ at the time. Little TJ was mad young. I didn't even know. Like it was him in the beginning stage. And so like I did the interview. She was like, okay, great. You want to continue to work for us? Cool. And so from there, like I took any opportunity I got. And so even though it wasn't at like a major company or a major label, I still understood the importance of honing in on those different skills. But also what I will tell you is don't be afraid to reach out to different execs, right? There's a specific way on how you need to reach out. I'm one of those people that like networking has been like a key for me, and I don't shy away because, you know, most people like to go to the stars and think, okay, well, you know, I love Drake and I just want to talk to Drake, but like who is on Drake's team? Do your research, right? And then sometimes, because no one's going to reach out to who Drake's manager's assistant is, you know, no one's thinking that. But if you go to that and you find them on Instagram and you just say, hey, listen, like I'm Manny, I do this and this. I'm a young person trying to get into the industry, and I would love to just have a conversation with you, to learn more. And that's just where it starts from, because then they'll just be like, all right, well, like, what's a conversation? I could just help them. But then you build that relationship from there. And then sometimes I think that's a lot of times on how I've been able to maneuver within the industry, because I will reach out even to this day, like, I was managing an artist, like I had told y'all. And so one of the biggest like inspirations for me at the time was Ebony, features manager. And I really wanted to speak to her. And then I had an opportunity at like Rolling Loud where I saw her. And I was so nervous, right? I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not gonna talk to me. Like, what's going on? Like, she's not gonna talk to me. But you know what? I got out of it and I went straight up to her. I'm like, listen, hey, Ebony, I applied for Femme Forward. You're one of like my inspirations. I wanted you to be my mentor. I was like, I'm happy you're my mentor, but you were one of the people I really wanted to be my mentor. And I would just love to pick your brain. Like, I'm managing an artist now, and I would just love to gain some inspiration or whatever from you. She said, hey girl, here's my number. Text me. We got in a whole call. She took a whole hour call with me, gave me so much guidance. And you would think someone like that is not accessible and could really like help you maneuver within it. But because I was able to break out of it and just ask questions, and I did it respectfully and like, in a specific manner, they're willing to help me. So get out of your like comfort zone. Don't be scared to reach out to people who you think may be higher up, who can really be able to change your life and give you an opportunity when you don't, know it's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So really just just do it. Like, just do it. Don't be scared, and continue to get those skills from where you're working at now.
Thank you so much, Angie. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions, like anyone, honestly. But Lenny, go ahead with yours.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry, my video is not on. For some reason, Zoom is not allowing me to cut it on. But Angie, first of all, thank you for your time today. A lot of great words, a lot of great inspiration. I'm actually an artist myself, and I really just wanted to kind of ask you, like, what's the best way to reach out? Because I've heard so many things about Audiomack, the platform, for up and coming artists and, getting discovered and kind of things like that. But I really just wanted to figure out what's the best way to reach out to you, to kind of send some music, to kind of figure out if there's any way to get like playlist placements and kind of things like that. So.
It starts here. I'm here. You know what I mean? Just like, you can DM me, send me your music. I'm very big on, I do answer people often. I would say know what you want from it. People will just reach out and be like, oh, can you just listen to my song? What? You know how many, like, you know what I mean? That's not gonna work. That's not how this works. So it's kind of like, okay, you have an understanding, like you said, okay, I want to get on playlisting, I want to get on trending. So it's kind of like, just reaching out. I can help because, whatever, I'm here. But for the most part, that's not really what my actual title handles, right? So I do that for like the major artists that are with the labels, and they need somebody on trending or playlisting, but not so much for just anybody else. So it's about knowing who does what at Audiomack, right? So I'm just giving you like a little tea, you know what I mean? Like a little thing. So it's just kind of just like reach out, figure out whose position is who. You'd want to look for who the senior director of curation is. Figure it out from there, because they're the ones who are choosing the playlisting and who gets playlisted and what they go on. They're the main people that are working with the trending and etc. So that's who you really want to like reach out to. But I don't mind if I like your music. I'm gonna just be completely honest with you. If I like your music, I will help you. If I don't like your music, I'm just going to respectfully decline. But at the same time, I'm still gonna give you like that like option to send it to me there. So
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that honesty too, because a lot of people would just like blow smoke. So hey, if you appreciate it and want to help me, I'm with that. If not, then just gotta go back in the lab. That's what it is.
Exactly. Don't give up either. You know what I mean? One no does not mean that it's over. Kanye said it. You saw how many people with his documentary were passing up on his beats. Who was it? Beanie Siegel was he tried to get him on Jesus Walks. He said, no, I want to hear the other one. What's Family Business? Mind you, Jesus Walks ended up being one of his biggest singles, So never take the no's for granted. Just keep hustling, keep doing what you got to do if you believe in yourself, and continue to like perfect your craft. That's all.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Words of excellence. Yes. What about you, Janelle?
First off, hi, my name is Janelle. I really appreciate your words. And Jersey, because I'm from Jersey. And yes, Jersey. I literally was screaming Jersey in the chat as soon as you said that. And I was so hyped. but the fact that you said you're 24. So I'm 23 and I graduated in the middle of the pandemic from University of the Arts in Philly. And I studied music business, entrepreneurship, and technology, but I'm a songwriter. So I had to like basically create my own major out of the major that I majored in. And I got an internship at a studio in North Philly, and they never had interns before. And so I kind of finessed my way into getting into sessions that I wasn't supposed to be in. And like you said, you don't exactly ask someone to be your mentor. It just happened. And I gained a mentor out of that. And I just sat in there and was writing along with people, and no one cared what I was writing in the corner. But eventually he's just like, you've been here a lot. Like, what's your idea? And then it wound up being a song that they wanted to pitch for someone. And so I understand what you're saying by like persevere, always be kind, put yourself out there, and just continue to be in the room, sit in the sessions. And I launched my songwriting services business last month, and yesterday I had my first inquiry. So I had my first Zoom meeting for like a serious artist who wants me to write for them. But what I want to know is, even though I've had an internship, I want another. And with all of the experience I've had being 23 and being so young, especially coming from the artist side, because I'm an artist and songwriter as well, I don't know how to present it in a way that sounds appealing and not just like, oh yeah, I'm a writer and I'm a singer and I'm a performer, musician, but I have all this other experience that I just don't know how to present in a cohesive way that'll make someone interested in wanting to have me on the other side.
Okay. So first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
What I would say is all those other skills that you feel like are important and you don't know how to pitch them, that's what you should be leading with, right? If you want to become and transition into like the exec side, that's really what you have to, figure out in a way, how can you make this, how we like tweak up our resume to make it sound like so much more intriguing.
Yes.
Kind of like how you have to do that. What's important is to always have a 30-second pitch, right? Because you never know. That's how my whole conversation with Ebony went. I didn't know, but I know I always have a pitch on what's my goal out of this, right? How do I explain who I am? And then also give them love at the same time, right? Because everybody wants somebody to brag. You want them to brag about you or whatever. You want to feel good, whatever. Sometimes you just got to let them know you guys are popping, boom, and then boom, this is what I'm trying to get to. And so it's like very important for that 30-second skill, because realistically, what you don't understand is you being a songwriter and having all those different accolades is not a setback, but honestly, it's what like separates you from every other person, because now you have a different ear of music that other people don't really have. You have that also that resume of like literally, I wrote this for this person and got placed here, or like etc. And you're 20, you said 23?
Yeah.
23 with your own company, like that's like freaking crazy, like that's crazy, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
That no one's doing that often, and that's my goal at one point, to own, and you're already owning. So it's like that already shows that you have a different type of skill set than somebody else who may be coming in and is just trying to wing it out and just only has like, one internship. Use that to like figure out how you can see the greatness in all that you have. You know what I mean? Like it's really important. Everything that you're doing and everything that you've done is extremely important. So it's just about figuring out, how am I going to pitch that? So just really sit with yourself and try to figure out, okay, how can I say I'm an artist, but then also say you being an artist is I have an appreciation for music like no other. I agree. Mm-hmm. So it's like a different sense of understanding how to pitch yourself. So you got it, girl. Apply. Like I said, like there's so many things. I sit there like on LinkedIn figuring out who went forward, having those like accolades, etc. Like that's what I look for. And when I was trying to come up and try to figure out anything, and even now, you just graduated. I graduated during the pandemic, and I was at the time interning for Angie Martinez. So it was crazy. I got my dream internship, and then 3 months later, pandemic hit. And so it was like, psych, you know? And so I really got stuck there because my goal was, okay, I'm about to be interning for the next summer. I already knew they wanted to bring me back. But then it's like, oh, we're furloughed. We're sitting here working from home. I'm not even in the studio anymore. And then my sorority sister reached out and said, hey, I have a job. There's a job opening at Audiomack where I work. You should apply for it. And I'm like, girl, I'm just an intern. Like, full-time job. I don't think I'm like, I don't
But
think
you recognized you had something in order to apply.
Exactly. I knew that. Well, listen, I had an internship in with brand partnerships. So I understand the importance of figuring out who should market with this artist and that artist. I understand I had an internship at Capital with marketing. So I had that understanding of, you know, what people are looking for, what labels are looking for in an artist and how we should probably market them. And I also work in radio. So my relationship with knowing how to speak to an artist's manager, making sure that they feel comfortable and they're fine when they come into a room, and also how to make an artist feel comfortable. I've gained all of that within different internships that I had. Although you may look at it like it's just an internship and you never had a full-time job, but they saw something in me, you know?
Yeah.
Saw what I can use with all of those different experiences. And that's what I'm trying to say with you. Know that your experiences matter. You being an artist, you being a songwriter, you creating your company, etc. All of that takes a lot of skills and experience. So that's how you pitch it to other people.
Thank you so much. Can I message you on Instagram? We can like talk more.
Yeah, girl. I wish I told you, like, you can.
Yes. No,
I will get to you, but you know what I mean? Like, I really do try to, my biggest thing is just, like I said, building up the next generation of execs, networking across, like, I'm sure you can help me in ways that I may, you know what I mean? I both ways. So yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Awesome. That was a beautiful connection made right there. We have about 10 minutes left, so we'll try to get 3 or 2 more people in. Maya, what's up?
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm a sophomore business management major at Temple. And so like, I just recently tried to, I'm trying to figure out my way into the business and music industry right now. So Janelle, I'm probably going to reach out to you to try and figure out the research you did to kind of make your own major, to make your life the most successful. But right now I feel like I'm kind of playing a game of catch up. But when we were talking with the other panelists, everything you said was so inspiring, and I really liked how close your connection was with God and everything. I guess my question is, seeing how far you came from the beginning to now, what was your biggest obstacle as a Black woman trying to navigate the industry, and how did you overcome that?
Ooh, that question's loaded. As a Black woman, I would say it always feels like, at first I knew I had a confidence in myself, but sometimes you just have like that little thing on the shoulder that's telling you don't really belong, and like you have to try to fit in. You need to I have to have all the sneakers. First off, I'm not a sneakerhead or anything like that. You know what I mean? I was big. We're in college, we are broke. Okay, y'all know we are broke. So I'm going into Power and everybody's over here with the Yeezys. They got all the Jordans or whatever, and I'm sitting here with like my little Adidas, like whatever. It felt like I had to fit in, or like I had to create this like facade of who I was in order to like for people to take me seriously. And I think that happens. And like I was even with my internship group. Shout out to Joan Gill, y'all. That's literally one of my close friends. She works at Warner, and she was an intern with me over with Angie Martinez. And so before she left me, because she got her job at Warner, so she was there for like 2 months. But Joan was literally like the intern. Okay, she was already there with Angie for about a year, so like she was who I had to like, meet. And so my goal is like, dang, there's another woman of color here. How am I going to fit in? How can I felt like I had to compete with her. And I think that that's a lot of the stereotypes that comes with being a Black woman, when in all actuality, first off, Joan is like a freaking sweetheart. So she came in like, girl, I'm gonna teach you the ropes. Like she was giving me free game. Like, you know what I mean? Especially when she figured out that she was leaving too. She's like, I want you to be great. I want you to be great. And so my thought process of feeling like, oh, I have to compete with her turned into how can we help each other, right? And so like even having the other interns, I'm just like, I gotta be better than them. I gotta be better than them. But I realized how they could see my greatness was literally figuring out how can I help them? How can I help all of us be better together? How can I make us one of the best intern groups that Angie Martinez has ever had and will never forget, And then a lot of people saw my passion through through that. And Angie saw it too, you know, once I was basically able to create that transition of where they felt like losing Joan was going to be a huge asset to them. Like, you know what I mean? Not asset, but it's going to be a huge default for them. But they had me right after she left to pick up the pieces, you know, and they noticed that. So it's literally understanding that, one, you're supposed to be in the room that you're in, right? Understanding that there is something within you. God will not lead you the wrong way. You are literally capable of doing anything that you want to do if you put your like hard work into it. And knowing that everybody is not your competitor. This literally so important. When I was telling y'all later, like, oh, I needed an artist meet literally for something for Audiomack, first person I hit up knowing it was at Warner was Joan. Joan made that happen for me, you know, and that mattered because we maintained the relationship through that. And when I was managing the artist, guess who was the other manager? Joan. We managed it together. So, you know, we came up, that's what matters. So like, you know what I mean? Just know you're supposed to be there, network across, and never try to feel like you have to compete with anybody as Black women. We are that, you know, I'm not going to curse, but we that beat. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Angie, I can listen to you talk all day. Oh my gosh, this is so.
Sorry, I don't have time. I'm trying to make it like, can we just get the hands raised? Whoever got their hands raised, I'll get it done. I'll get it done.
Yes, Tiara.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. First off, hey sis, Ski. All right, so I don't want to make it too long. So I'm a publicist and for a few artists with the agency that I run. And I just want to ensure that I'm accessing as many events that I can to network within the industry, within the music industry. So, and also I have very talented artists that I manage and want to ensure that the content is heard at the maximum level. So I would love to connect and talk with you at a different level after this Zoom call. But anyways, the question is, what are some major events that come to mind that you think would be great for publicists and even the artists on this Zoom to attend to network? Like, would that be like with radio stations? Or I just want to make sure that we, you know, access the maximum level of exposure as far as networking with others.
Oh, so you're saying, I just want to like get clarity. So as a publicist, you basically want to network with more people within the industry so that you have basically an up on helping your artists.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so honestly, that takes just like literally following different companies that do this. Like even this program right here, you should be seeing the people that are on here, like getting their names. I think there was like a sheet or whatever, you may be able to see what they do. Those are the people that you want to connect with as well. I know, don't correct me if I'm wrong, I know this woman Olivia puts on like different mixers, etc. I know there's one coming up soon, maybe like next week. I would go for like Women's History Month. I would go attend that, you know, see who's out there. There's so many different events. Granted, it's like pandemic time, but there's so many events that are happening that you usually just gotta go out there and just talk to anybody. I was like the worst. I got anxiety sometimes when I would have to go into rooms and I have to speak to people because sometimes you just don't know what the right words is. But I had a mentor at the time who was my boss at Universal, and we had an event for Rev Run. And I was in there and she saw me on the side, just like chilling. And she's like, so did you talk to anybody? So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just feeling out the vibe. She's like, no. She's like, I'm not playing this. She's like, by the end of the this event, you better have got contact lists from 10 different people, or I'm not speaking to you. She's like, don't speak to me for the rest of the day. So I'm in there. I'm like, oh god damn, like how do I even do this? Like, but then I had to figure it out. When I'm in my comfort zone, I didn't get 10. But I got 5, which matched. She didn't even care though. When she see me, she would see me across the room and she's like, love her to death, Carolyn. But that was important. I went out of my comfort zone, and then I ended up actually getting a connection. That's one of the people that helped me get my internships over at Power. So You know, they had just asked me what I want to do, and I was like, I'm trying to get this internship at Power. And she said, oh, I have a friend. So it's like, it's little things. So go out your comfort zone, find those, just look it up. Like there's so many different events that you could just go to, even like little concerts and stuff. There's people there, there's A&Rs there that you should be connecting with. There's look for different publicists as well. Like y'all should have like a community of Black women publicists or women publicists, just you guys could speak to each other, you know, hone in on that. And also, like I said, look for mentors. Like you don't want to go out for it, but if there's somebody you see a publicist that's doing their thing, maybe reach out to them and ask them, what is the best way that I can get into this, or any advice that you would have for me? Because some, you know, they're free and they can just reach out. No, everybody wants to help for the most part, so I would use that and go like that.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, I just want to plug again, Finessed Media does have listening sessions almost every Saturday for our events. So up and coming artists, or just even artists who want to showcase their music to a new audience, that's a great way to get them in front of people as well. Yeah, Kingston, what's up? Hello.
Hello, hi everybody.
Hey.
Hi Angie, nice meeting you. I have a quick question, I hope it's quick. So I'm a singer-songwriter, and I don't know, I'm working on my debut single. Hopefully it'll drop very soon. But I know I'm supposed to pick a genre, but I don't fit into, I love all kinds of music, and I just wanted to know your opinion, how to, and this might be a little difficult without hearing my music, but how important is it these days to hit those main genres when it's a little bit of everything?
Okay.
If that even makes sense.
No, I completely hear you. I hear you. So I would say, you know, labels, streaming services, they always want you to have a genre just for like understanding on, okay, where's the playlisting pitching going? You know, how do we market this artist? What would they, if they ended up on Billboard, like, you know what I mean? What would you be under? What genre would you be under? So that's where the importance come from. But I'm one of those people, especially like with my music taste, I love anything that's different. So I don't really go with everyone's listening to Gunna. Granted, Gunna's album was really good, but I don't really just go off of like, you know, that's the biggest thing. I love artists that sound different. So like in a moment where it was like trap, I was loving Roddy Ricch because he just gave like a whole different sound to things, you know, like I just love those different artists that are not sounding like every single other person. That's usually who I end up gearing towards. And it's like, I think we're honestly, Jordan asked a question earlier, like what's changing with music? I think that lots changing that you don't have to be in just one genre. They're creating it. Drake created this whole melodic rapping and singing together, you know. We're creating things at a different time. People have no idea where to put Doja Cat. Is she a rapper? Is she a singer? Is she just a pop artist? What is she? But her music is good. Good music will speak for itself. So if you have good music, you're creating that genre. You may be creating your own genre as we move forward. So that's what's important. Don't focus on the genre, just focus on creating good music.
Thank you.
Most definitely. I mean, what are labels, right? Who wants them? That's that a double entendre. Oh, well, I think that is all for our breakout rooms, and we're gonna go back into our big session. So thank you everyone for being here.
Guys, for coming in. I hope you learned something.
Yeah, of course. I know I did.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else want to go ahead and introduce themselves?
I will.
Oh, okay. Hey, Charlie. Okay, Charlie, I'll grab you, and then Sage, you can go ahead.
All right. Oh, you want me to go ahead now?
Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
Hey, y'all, I'm Charlie. I'm an upcoming artist manager. I've done a lot of things with like upcoming artists. I've done marketing, I've done management, I've done personal assisting, literally any job that needed to be done, I was willing to do it. That's just the type of person I am. Yeah, so I'm here. I want to learn with y'all, grow with y'all, whatever that may entail.
Cool. Thanks, Charlie. Sage, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. First off, I want to say, Sammye, you're super inspiring. Everything that you said, I literally wrote down, I typed everything because just want to keep that in my head, but I just graduated with a music business degree. I didn't know I wanted to do music business at first, but definitely I want to build an entrepreneurial empire, exactly what you said, and see more women like you and all of us in places of power, because I do think that we truly rule the music industry in terms of like, we know what we want to see, you know what I mean? But I'm an artist manager. Am I allowed to ask questions now?
Yeah, go ahead, Sage,
Okay.
if you want to.
I just want to know, I know you talked about like the boardrooms changing and how you're seeing more women of color in the rooms that you're in, but when you do end up in a room where you feel challenged, or you're like the only woman or the only Black woman, how do you deal with that?
Honestly, I just stay true to myself. Like, I don't let any man or person at all, interfere or take away with who I am and what I have going on. Like, I know what I'm here for. I know where I've worked to get to, and I understand what I bring to the table. So I'm always going to keep the confidence. I'm going to walk in with my head high. And honestly, that's what Spelman taught me. We can talk about, books, whatever, but you can go to any college for that. But Spelman taught me like how to be a woman, how to carry myself, the do's and the don'ts. And that's what I feel like I just apply through my walk through life every single day. So don't ever let anyone like discourage you from speaking up. Like, I used to be more so like a timid person where I was like, I don't know, like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, nah, forget that. Like, I'm gonna say what I believe and I'm gonna stand on the table behind it. So
thank you so much.
For sure.
Simone, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Great. So I know the music industry is a little bit unique when it comes to like professional networking or professional development. So whereas in other industries, like if you want to reach out to someone or you want to make certain connections, you go on LinkedIn or you go through very like formal channels. So as an executive, as somebody who's worked their way up in music, how do you prefer to be approached, whether for like mentorship or conversations by like younger people within the industry? Do you prefer like people reaching out on socials? Do you prefer like having interactions in person, LinkedIn? Like, what's your personal preference?
So I'm a very organic and genuine person. I don't like things to be like forced or anything, but I'm also a very much open person and like to provide opportunities for people. I think, within that, you just got to gauge if it's, the vibe, the energy. Like, I'm a part of a lot of programs, like mentor programs, like probably so many. It's hard to keep up with, to be honest. But, I like to be able to really give myself to whoever I'm taking under my wing, and that's my mentee. I don't want to just have a mentee to say I have a mentee. Like, I want to really, pour into you and make sure you're understanding and learning and taking away from something from our conversations that we have. I feel like, whether it be on social media, but I'm not the biggest social media person, to be honest. I just got back on there a couple months ago. So you DM me, I might miss your DM. More than likely, I might miss your DM. But my email is in my bio, and someone who works with me, I'm sure will catch it in there. If you DM me, you might gotta DM me like 5 times just because I really don't pay attention to my DMs like that. But yeah, I'm an open person, so it doesn't have to be super, formal. I'm not like that.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Ken, it looks like you have a question.
Yes, and thank y'all for putting this together. I think I was at the last one, which was really inspiring. So myself, I'm a artist
Where you
manager.
at, Ken? We can't see your face.
Yeah, we can't see your face, Ken. You gotta be on camera.
Hair and makeup didn't show up today. Hold on. And I got my do-rag on, so.
We don't care. We're accepting
exactly
of everything.
The pressure. The drama. People suing.
There we go.
All right. So my question is around artist management. Like the DJ, the artist I went to school with, I'm now like intern manager for, because I'm still trying to figure things out and then thinking about what resources. So I definitely want to connect with, I think there were 2 people who said they're artist managers, because it's like, I don't create the music. I'm familiar with music as a DJ, but then that wall of like ASCAP, VMI stuff, like I feel limited, I guess, in the realm of the resources that are available for artist managers. So I was wondering if y'all
Mhm.
had suggestions on resources. There's one I found. It's like Smartest You, and I paid for like the toolkit, but I'm not trying to pay too much for just all the different things on the internet.
So, okay, so I understand half of what you're asking me as far as like tools and resources regarding management, but the other half, when you brought up BMI and ASCAP, just for clarity, what are you, what do
Yeah,
you
so
mean by
like,
that?
so basically, like, or
Are you
even
saying
more
you don't
like,
know how to, you don't understand ASCAP or BMI?
or like, I don't have access because I'm not the artist. Like, same thing with TuneCore, they don't have like a artist view kind of deal. So
What are you saying for your artists? Like you need to access their BMI or ASCAP?
yeah, so because I want to do my own research, like I guess it's like
Oh, I
these.
think
Yeah, go
you're,
ahead.
are you asking, he's asking about how to utilize some of the resources.
So how to use BMI and ASCAP?
Yeah, from the artist manager perspective.
Well, it's not necessarily like an artist manager perspective when it comes to things like that. But I mean, if you have a client, then I mean, they should allow you access. You should have their login so you can understand and you can make sure that you're registering things for them, or that whatever placement that they get or whatever music's coming out, that everything's being managed properly. And from that, I mean, you can research that. There's so many resources. You can go on Google, you can look that up. You can get their information and play around with it yourself. You can reach out to ASCAP or BMI and maybe set up a call. I have some people there. So if you're like actually seriously like trying to figure this out, I can have someone like run through it with you.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you a message.
Okay, and as far as resources for management, I mean, honestly, there's no blueprint for management. So everyone manages, their clients differently. I think it's like you all are both up and coming, so you're going to learn as you go. But I definitely feel like you have to do your due diligence in the sense of reading. Like there's a lot of things, like to me, it's music industry is not something you can learn in school, but there's a lot of fundamentals you can gain from different classes or from books or certain things like that. I can suggest some books for you to read as well. You can look at podcast. I listen to podcasts. You can look at different interviews and just take heed, like finding all the top managers. Like Cortez Bryant would be a great one, who managed Drake and Lil Wayne, and finding anything that he's spoke about, because he's going to speak about it from a managerial perspective. So
perfect.
Yeah, Ken, it looks like some folks dropped some resources in the chat that you could also note down.
I'll put them in the doc right now. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
And thank y'all for sharing the information as well too. And I'll reshare everything I just copied.
Awesome. Kanesi, I'm going to jump to you. Go ahead.
Hello. So to introduce myself, my name is Kanesia. I am a recent Florida State grad. And like you, I, in undergrad, was really focused on going to law school. And now I'm trying to mix that like love of law, that legal passion with, my creative and music industry experience. I'm wondering how you knew it was time to make that pivot, and how you trusted your intuition, knowing that it was time to do that.
To not go to law school and focus on the music industry?
Yes.
So it was interesting because, like I said, I went to a school where like music industry wasn't a thing. Like everyone was going to be like doctors, lawyers, whatever, anything but the music industry. But like I said, I always had a passion for music. And when I got that opportunity and that internship, that really brought light, and I took heed into it. And just those that year of spending time in the studio, I just felt like, hey, like this is what I want to do. Like, and I hadn't even really tapped into like, I mean, obviously I was pre-law, but I hadn't even tapped into like looking to apply or anything like that, because I was so intrigued by the music industry. Like it was like breathtaking. It was like, oh my gosh, this is like unreal. So once I did that, and then I got the second internship at the booking agency, then I was like, this is what I want to do. There's no turning back. I was like, I only see forward. I think it boils down to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one can really tell you, no one can really teach you, but it was just something in me that is like, I got to do this and I'm going to figure it out any way I can. And it was a lot of sacrifices. Like, I mean, everything that you do, every company that you work with, you know, has its own sacrifices and its own things you have to, you know, you might not like or something like that. But like the music industry, I didn't care what it took to get there because I wasn't making any money for the first several years. I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make money so I can continue to work in the music industry. So I had like 2 or 3 hosting jobs. I was working at Abercrombie and Fitch. I was anything to sustain me being able to continue working in the music industry.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being here.
For sure.
Cool. Lottie, go ahead.
Hey, Sammye, I'm Lottie.
Hey, I feel like I see you a lot.
Lottie's everywhere. Lottie's everywhere.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. You stand out.
Thank you. That is an honor coming from you. Oh my God.
Wait, hold on, Lottie, before you ask your question, I just want to encourage everyone that is in here, if you can turn on your camera, you definitely should, because if Sammye recognizes Lottie and they've never met, it's probably because Lottie is everywhere and Lottie always has her camera on. Lottie's all up in everybody's DMs. Lottie is the connector of the music industry. So I do suggest some folks turn on their cameras if you're available. But go ahead, Lottie.
Let's see, you said gas to me. I love it. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I'm a songwriter based between LA and New York, and I also am a social media manager for a music NFT startup. So I do a couple of things, but I wanted to know if you had any advice for freelance A&Rs. I have a sister, she's a freelance A&R. She loves you. You're like one of her idols. And she wasn't able to make it today, but she's trying to get to a point where she can work with a major label. So there are certain people that she's been working with, but sometimes I worry because I'm just like, what happens if you get them an artist and then they don't even put you on or whatever? So I just wanted to know if you had any advice on navigating that.
Yeah, for sure. So I always tell people, like, don't think you have to work for a label to be an A&R. Like one of my best friends, Melita Rice, she's been a producer manager for like several years, like, and very much established producers. Like her producers are doing amazing things. And she got several offers to go into different labels and stuff like that, which really wasn't her thing because she's been a producer manager. She's used to working on her own. But she ended up going to the label and working for Warner Music, which is amazing. She signed Young Baby Tate. But she was like very hesitant at first because she's like, I've never A&R'd. I'm like, yo, girl, this is what you do. Like, you put producers in the room, you put writers in the room, you put producers with artists. Like, you've been A&R'ing. It might not have been the like technical position or title or anything like that, but that doesn't define you. It's plenty of people who are A&Rs who don't do their job. So it doesn't take a building or a position to define what you really do. I think the different ways of doing that is, signing a producer and getting the producer placements. But, it is a lot of work, especially for someone new. So it's about, like we said in the panel, like, building and maintaining those relationships, reaching out to people and expressing to them, hey, I have a client. Like, literally, you're just trying to sell your client, especially when they have no other credits or anything like that. Or you can have a writer and you're pitching your writer to people, or you have an artist and you break the artist. Then you look, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, an A&R. And then from there, you might have leverage when the artist is going crazy on social media, or the artist is going crazy on YouTube or Spotify, and all these labels start calling, and it's like, oh, you're the person who did this and put this project together, or put this record together, and then that could be your leverage inside the building. So it's numerous different ways to do it. Just don't think it's a blueprint or it's one way. You got to be at a label. She can start off by interning, at a label and working her way up. It's a number of different things, but just making sure that she's in the right places at the right time, the studio is a great place. Like I said, I started off at the studio as the front desk person and just met so many different people. So
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Honestly, I really appreciate it.
For sure. It was good seeing you.
Seeing you too.
Cool. Gabby?
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I really was inspired by your story of how you started from the bottom and like had to work at all these different jobs. But I'm a writer and an artist and aspiring to work in A&R. And I recently, like a year ago, decided to pursue this as a career. But sometimes I feel kind of discouraged because I'm about to be 26 and I feel like I'm a little late in the game sometimes.
Don't do that. Do not do that to yourself.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to be, but just sometimes it creeps in. So I was wondering if you had any advice on like not older, but like starting on the older side as a woman in the industry.
First of all, you're not old or older. Granted, you're not 19, but you're not old at all. So it's like, this is how I look at things. Like, I feel like it's so easy to get like swooped up and lost in social media world. As much as I appreciate, the platform that Instagram has provided, I feel like it has its downsides and has people thinking like, if you're not 21 and a millionaire, then you haven't made it. Like, and that's just so not true. That's like you here and there. Like, there's so many people. I don't like, if you read, I read a lot, like Netflix, the person who created Netflix, the person who created Starbucks, Nike, like their breaks were not at 18, 19, 20, 21. Like really, that's like something that has started with entrepreneurship, which I can appreciate everyone who's doing great, who's younger, but that's not everyone. And you gotta, understand what your path is. Like, don't think because your friend is 24 and they might be VP or they might be this or that, like, don't look at it like you're not on your right path or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. What's the name of the Netflix show? That was super crazy. What is it called? With the games?
Squid Games?
Squid Games, yes. He pitched his show like for years and got denied every single time. Literally, he went broke. He sold his laptop trying to sustain, et cetera, et cetera. And he had the #1 watch show this year. Like, so just understand what's meant for you is what's meant for you. Like, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let social media tell you otherwise. You just got to stay focused and, really make everything intentional as well. Like your next move got to be your best move. So.
Thank you.
No problem.
I hope this is all helpful for everybody here. We have about 8 or so minutes left. I know there are a lot of questions, so if we don't get to everybody, I apologize, but we are limited on time. Faze, you've been waiting for very patiently, so I'll go ahead and let you speak.
Thank you so very much. Wait, first and foremost, I wanted to say, Sammye, I don't know if anybody ever told you this, but you have a very relatable personality.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like it's like when I was hearing you speak, it was very it was as if like I was speaking to a friend of mine, and a lot of what you said really resonated. And kind of like the example you're showing about Squid Games and Netflix guys. Just I was gonna bring an example of Harry Potter and how J.K. Rowling had to submit like her novel like 13 times before she got accepted by the publisher, which is incredible. Another interesting thing too is like Drake. Drake was also denied multiple times before his manager finally got to Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, okay, you know what? I'll give this kid a try. And now Drake is known across the whole globe. Every person knows his songs.
Correct.
So,
and people don't understand with Drake also that he was signed to like 4 or 5 different people. And as we hear people always explode like, oh, this person has me locked up in this deal, or I'm signed to like 3 people and they don't want to pay me. Like Drake was literally signed, I don't want to misquote, but I think at least to like 4 different people. And we didn't hear him complain not one time. And he's one of the biggest artists in the world. So always maximize and take advantage of whatever opportunity you're in, whether you think it's bad or not. Always leave with something from that opportunity that you engaged in.
Definitely. Well, I'm an artist myself. I come from Canada, and I've been doing music for like a couple years now. And I feel like the thing with A&Rs, right? This is what because I wanted to actually ask you this, being a director of A&R at Atlanta Records, which is, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
The question I've always like pondered, it was like, is the purpose of an A&R to go out and find an artist that has a large fan base, a copious amount of streams, a manager, a team, possibly signed to a more smaller label, and then bring that artist up? Or do A&Rs, are the jobs of A&Rs to find artists that are they're unseen, they're not very popular, but they have this it factor, they call it, right? They have this potential, this prospect. And I guess the question is, how does an A&R like yourself, how do you distinguish potential opposed to just streams and popularity? And when do you decide, okay, I'm going to sign this artist opposed to this?
And I kind of touch base with that on the panel. First of all, every A&R is different. A&Ring now is completely different from A&Ring 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Because we have these, research teams, these research platforms that are feeding us information every single day, every single hour, basically on any artist in the world that has any sort of movement, whether it be on YouTube, SoundCloud, DSPs, TikTok, anything like that. As an A&R working at a label, yeah, that is my job to like look into any of those things that are moving. But the type of A&R I am, one, I am a very much hands-on A&R. So I'm in the studio, I'm finding the writers, the producers, I'm putting the creatives together. I'm taking the artists, figuring out, trial and error, who works well with who, because that's essentially all this is. And then also when it comes to signing artists, I am not chasing after the artist that has the biggest the most followers or the biggest platform or anything like that, because that artist might not even be a real artist. Maybe they just had a song that was put out and it went viral on whatever platform and now it's going crazy, but they have no other music, they have no work ethic. They might not even really want to do this. I'm looking for the person who's going to match my energy and get 500% at all times, because I look at it like I'm providing an opportunity for you to change your life.
Yeah.
So.
Face, does that answer your question?
It does. I got part two of that real quick.
Face, what? You got one question. We got more people.
One question. No worries. I appreciate it regardless. So thank you so much.
Cool. No problem. Salik, you've also been waiting very patiently. We'll go ahead and let you speak.
Hi, everyone. I go by Zalik. I'm a singer, songwriter, amateur producer. Thank you so much, Sammye, for taking time out of your Saturday. My question is from the artist perspective. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to hustle. I'm ready to sort of like start working towards launching my career. And I don't want to come up here and be like, can you sign me? But I'm just asking, what advice would you give to a young artist who's like trying to work towards that goal? Or like, how do I go about preparing myself to be signed? Or how do I go about, chasing that sort of goal? Or like, I'm just ready. I have the work ethic. I believe I have the talent. And I'm like, coming from a label's perspective, what is your advice for a young artist who's just trying to get discovered, trying to like, hone my craft and work on my artistry?
For sure. I don't think it's a matter of getting prepared to be signed necessarily. I don't think that should be your focus. I think it should be, perfecting your craft, perfecting your music, making sure the production is there, making sure the writing is there, and then cohesiveness is there with whatever project you put out, and sonically it's there. So utilizing your resources around you to get feedback on your music. You're a new artist, you're still trying to figure it out, which a lot of people are. So I think you definitely have to put out music, and I think you have to put out music consistently. I don't think you can be overly precious with music, which sometimes as a creative, I get it, you want everything to be perfect, and it does need to be great. And like I said, sonically there, but I think how is the world going to ever find out if you're not putting out music? You know what I'm saying? Or putting out music in the world telling you they don't necessarily like it, or maybe you're getting more negative feedback than positive feedback, which is also okay. So now you know, okay, let me go revisit this, and then you can put more music out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you should ever look at it like a negative when you get feedback. I think everything you should try to internalize as constructive criticism and figure out how to apply it where it works best for you. But I definitely would say put out music consistently. And you just never know what platform it's going to take off on. Like TikTok was utilized more than freaking Google this year, which is insane. So it's like I would be posting ever. I'd be posting on the DSPs, which is, you know, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Tidal. I would be posting on TikTok. I'd be posting on Instagram. I'd be posting on Twitter. Anything to maximize all platforms.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
Cool. That pretty much wraps up our time for the breakout rooms. So hopefully everybody found this really helpful. We're about to jump back into the main session. But if everyone found it helpful, then give us a little thumbs up so we know. Yeah? Cool. Awesome. So we can go ahead and jump back into the main session. Thank you, Sammye, for being a part of this and answering all these questions. All right, see you there.
Hey, everyone, welcome back in. I hope y'all were able to learn a little bit more about our panelists today and our breakout sessions. Actually, I want to do a whoop whoop again. If you learned something, if you met someone and were inspired, can you unmute and whoop whoop again? Hey, that's what I love to hear. So again, thank y'all all so much for coming out. Thank you, Sammye. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Alena. I can't see everyone, but yeah, thank y'all for being such just amazing, telling your stories, being willing to speak and be honest about what you are and doing here in the music industry and just about your personal lives and everything. And I just want to give y'all the floor to just speak on, like, if there's any advice to give to your younger self or to some Black women or BIPOC people, folks in the audience today, what would it be going forward? Alena, want to take that one first?
Yeah, I would honestly say is just, again, just being yourself, but something I would continuously tell myself when I was younger. Like, I think that me just being able to believe in myself, have confidence and be sure of myself and just stick to my own morals and what I, you know, my own like ethic values is something that's really just helped really navigate me in this industry. So anything I would tell my younger self is just to continue being hungry, continue just being confident and continue to just, you know, believe in yourself. So
I love it. I love it. Sammye?
For sure. I would say, you know, don't overthink. I've always been an overthinker my whole entire life. And sometimes it can get the best of me. It has its, you know, qualms and great things about it, but just do what you feel like is best for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay focused. Don't let anyone interrupt your shine because they might not get it. They might not understand like the path in front of you. So keep going, be positive, stay around like-minded people as yourself, read, gain knowledge, soak in to all positivity, and yeah, and just keep going. Like, don't let anyone deter you on what you have going on.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that. And finally, Angie K.
Yes, so I would say it will all work out if I could speak to my younger self, like in those moments of doubt, in those moments of confusion, when I felt like, okay, maybe this isn't for me, etc. God always found a way to make it work out. You know, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm very big on just like having to hone in on like figuring out what's God's purpose for me. So in those moments of like not understanding where I need to go or even feeling if this is the opportunity I should take, I always go back, you know, to prayer and just try to figure it out and get right with my mental health. Do not forget about your mental health, y'all. This industry will try you, okay? I'm okay. I don't pledge I did everything, but this industry could try you as well, child. Okay, I'm just saying. So don't get it twisted. Do not give up. Don't give up. Even when people are, you may have people that are going to test you. You think that relationships are the right relationships, and then there's some coworkers that might F you over, or people take your ideas and you're like, what the heck? Like, it's going to be a lot that may get to you, but at the end of the day, no, you're there for a reason and it will all work out.
Applause. Yes, all great things, all great things. So yeah, thank y'all so much for being here. And just a reminder about the contact sheet. Their socials are in the contact sheet. So please follow them, support them, these amazing 3 Black women here today. I was very excited to speak to all of y'all. And yeah, that wraps it up for me. And I'll put it over to Alexi for our final announcements. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Awesome. Alena, Sammye, Angie, it has been an honor. Honestly, it has been an honor to have the 3 of you come in and speak to us. We host these events on a week-to-week basis, and our community means everything to us. We primarily focus on marginalized communities, and there were so many people. I told you all this in the beginning. There were so many people excited to see you in the beginning of the week. I guarantee you we're going to get tons and tons of messages from people saying that they were so excited to be on this panel and hear you all speak. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We host for the community. We host events again on a week-to-week basis. Next week, we have an A&R panel. Jordan, the next one after that is which one? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. It's our digital streaming platform 101 panel.
And then at the end of the month, we'll have a mental health panel.
Women's panel. Yeah,
exactly. So we're really excited to have hosted a Black Women in Music event. It's really important to us at Finessed Media to continue uplifting marginalized voices, especially women and women of color. Our team right now is all women of color. Also, shout out to, again, the new interns. I also didn't see Alicia Frazier, who is also new to our team. So shout out to you. But yeah, we're so grateful for our community, and Alena, Angie, and Sammye. We can't thank you enough. So thank you everybody for being a part of our event. Give us one little, actually, we're going to change it up because Alena's from the Bay Area. So if you all enjoyed the event for Alena, we're going to unmute ourselves and give us a little yay. All right.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Angie's like, no.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll give you a yer. All right, everybody. Wait, actually, for Angie, since Angie K is Angie K, we're gonna give an okay. So everybody, give us an okay.
Okay.
Sammye, where are you from again?
Tennessee, from Chattanooga. I don't know what they say there. I have no idea. APO.
It's just bye. That's all it is. Just bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Well, Alena, Angie, Sammye, we're so grateful for you. Thank you again. Have a happy Saturday. All right.